Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and Craig Skidmore here for Deep Love Tarot, your weekly love horoscope through the tarot for this week of February the 1st through the 7th of 2021. We're going to have a normal February this year. We're out of that leap year, and we have quite a lot going on. Like, we got Mr. Craig Skidmore back in the house.
What up? What up? What up? Missed y'all. Feels good to be back. Had a little realignment, a little readjustment in life, but feeling good, feeling fresh. Got my Monday pink on. With a little bit of blue accent.
Pink and blue.
How are you? Hey, how are you doing, Mr. David?
I'm all right. I'm not bad. I'm not good. I'm in the middle. So I'm like cruising.
Cruising for a bruising. Hurting for a squirting.
All those things have happened. But I was going to say, High Vibe's pretty damn cool. Check out highvibes.tv. We got the new website up and also mobile web. But also at the same time, all the shows, of course, are on High Vibe. We do this show on YouTube right now. And I'm working on what to bring out to YouTube next. Just, I've felt a little, I put so much into High Vibe that, you know, it's like, I don't know. I just haven't really known what to put out to YouTube next. So
Something fun and exciting.
yeah, I'm turning YouTube more into an entertainment astrology channel just because you can't go full gauntlet on here anymore.
The times they are a-changing.
They are.
Or they have changed.
I'm like just not going to push. I'm a Saturn and Scorpio. I know the limits. I'm not going to go over the limits. So for those that want to know why I'm not on YouTube as much. And you'd think with a plaque and a verified account and, you know, almost 30 million views on this channel now, you'd think, oh yeah, why'd you stop? It's like, oh, I'm pretty unfiltered, so I'm having to find filtered content for YouTube now. So that just is the way it is.
It is the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say we go into, if you've never watched the show before, we're going to go over your collective reading, what's going on with love in the collective. We're in the chat, by the way. Well, I'm lying. I'm not in the chat yet. I'm going in there right now. But then, of course, we're going to pull the cards of what's happening for the collective and then the Astro dice. And we then will pull, after that, for all the 12 zodiac signs from the High Vibe.
I love gold. It's
Gold
the gold chalice. It's where the zodiac signs come from.
It's an awesome show, and I'm ready to get to it. Are you ready to get to it?
I am. No time like the present.
Is everybody in the chat ready to get to it? I also do respond, and so does Craig, to the chat. Although we ask you to try and keep the chat pretty cool. Sometimes some people in here can get a little weird. But hey, that's just part of life. So here we are. It's Aquariusville. It was like the show Smallville. Like, that was kind of a weird show. I didn't watch it all, but it was weird.
Is that the Superman one?
Yeah, I think I watched one episode and said I'm not a Smallville person.
Yeah.
So, you know, this is the week that's going to be, I would say, weird. Just weird. Doesn't mean bad. Just this weird energetically, especially when Aquarius is about people. And we've got the moon that's going to be in Scorpio square all of this Aquarius. We've got Venus. We've got Saturn. We've got the sun, we've got Jupiter, we got a Mercury retrograde. That's a lot happening in Aquarius. And then this moon in Scorpio is going to make the 3/4 square to the sun and to all these planets here. Then, of course, we have Mars that's just finished the square to the sun. So both those have been in their detriment. The sun being in Aquarius, the sign opposite of the sun, and then Mars being in Taurus, the opposite sign of Scorpio, the sign of Mars. So this has been a time where, you know, we're all trying to find what this world is to connect to. I've been saying it feels like there's this huge magnet out in the universe pulling us, and we're just like, I feel it, but where's the magnet? And so this week we're with a Mercury retrograde now and with Venus and Saturn conjunct. It's like we're really taking it seriously now where to find this. With the square to Uranus, though, it's going to come from areas that we never... I think if you try and over-figure out how it's going to look and how it's going to be, you're just going to get met with just... Blah. Just it's like learning to just let go and watch the surprises happen, which is exciting. I'd rather have surprises happen anyways. I'm at the moment where I'm ready for a good surprise. That's how kind of like... I don't want to say I'm numb because I'm never numb, but I'm like... I'm ready for a surprise. And this is really what this week's about. Where's the surprise at? The moon is traveling in places where it doesn't have the best time. It's going to be in Libra, which is actually good with all this Aquarius, which is kind of bringing some chill energy, to be honest with you. It feels way different than some of the intense stuff that's been going around. So that's good. But going through Scorpio and making these big T-squares that it's going to make, and then, of course, going through Sag with the South Node square Neptune, and then it's going to go through Capricorn and finish off. But we've got a big event to prepare for here, which is the beginning of what I've been calling my 2021 video, Shattered Reality. Saturn is going to come to 6 degrees this weekend and square Uranus at 6 degrees of Taurus. And we're going to see them exactly square at 7 degrees. But it's going to be interesting that the Shattered Reality starts this weekend. And it's going to be a transit we see all year. We're going to see it in a retrograde as well, and we're going to see it again in the direct motion. It depends on which planet we're talking about, but you will see it with the Saturn direct aspect. We are going to see this multiple times this year. So this is us preparing for that great surprise that's going to, in many ways, get us out of the... Well, it depends. It's Saturn square Uranus is very weird. The last major one we had that I feel was extremely weird because it was flipped was in 2000. Same year that Jupiter and Saturn had met too. And it was Jupiter and Saturn that squared Uranus. Uranus was in Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn was in Taurus. Now we're dealing with Saturn in Aquarius with Jupiter squaring Uranus in Taurus. So it's flipped. So, this is us trying to find the world that makes us feel better, and it's going to shatter the world that we've been in. But if you're not willing to realize that something needs change, and if you're holding on to the world and not willing to kind of change it, then it's going to shatter things. And when it comes to relationships, geez, Venus and Saturn can tell us to stop and take a pause with the Mercury retrograde, but at the same time, it also is going to show us maybe where we've stopped and paused too much too. So with Venus and Saturn, but on Venus's, approach to a square year with Uranus, it wants something different. It wants to, the flavor needs changing. I'll end it with that. The flavor needs changing. First card for this week that we got is Four Swords reversed. It's kind of interesting. Our challenge card is the Two of Cups. Ooh, the Soulmate card reversed. And then we've got the Moon card reversed as our overall. And how do we get through this challenge is the Empress reversed. So wow, we got a lot of reversals in all of them. And we got two major arcana. Four Swords reversed is, I would say that collectively, I think that we're restless when it comes to love. Like, where is it? We don't know where the safe place is. We don't even know where it's at. I think that everybody's confused with love. And especially to have this challenge card as the Two of Cups reversed, it's like soulmate energy is unknown, or maybe you even feel disconnected from the soulmate energy, or for some people, maybe they feel so connected, but the other half doesn't feel connected. So there's a lot of this like misfiring in relationships, and that's a good way to describe Saturn square Uranus too, as a misfire in like an engine, or a computer that just blue screens. The guy who created the blue screen is the guy telling you to get a shot. I'm sure that there's no blue screens in that shot that'll happen. The Moon reversed is the overall card. I would say that this is a lot of our emotions feeling very suppressed. Or numbed out, and we have to get to the bottom of where that is. Sometimes it can be very basic, like you're doing the things emotionally that you don't want to do, and then it makes you feel like you're suppressing your emotions of what you really want to do. But this also just brings up to where we're feeling like we need to find the emotion that seems hard to get. But this Empress reverse to get through this challenge is kind of interesting, because I think that a lot of this is just saying that Why hold on to the energy of what soulmate energy is if it's not clicking like soulmate energy? So this is going to be, I think, a lot of people who associate with certain soulmates that maybe it's not as soulmatey as you think that it is, or it's the end of a soulmate relationship, and it's okay to let go and not embody it because it's not going to hold the weight, the value, and the energy that brings the life to it that it really is. You don't want to bring life to something that's not connecting, because that's like bringing life to a broken situation. 2020 was giving life to an event that we are still continuing on. That did we create the event itself by continuing to keep pushing the event is a good question, and how you could relate it in your love life. Why do we get the restless energy and the Four of Swords, the Eight of Wands? It's because we're looking for love, the arrows of love. We're looking for the party, though, the excitement, the roller coaster ride of love, and we're restless looking for it. It kind of feels like, you know, I mean, I'm one of those people who I tap my feet, I tap a lot. You know, it's like we're restless. We're wanting a good thing. We're wanting excitement. We're wanting the arrows of love to come. And we're not feeling like coming into this week like we found that yet. So this would be an indication that this week, it's going to be a roller coaster ride, I feel, but it's going to be a good one. And it's like, it's like when you're a kid and you're waiting to get on the ride and you've been in line. I think that we've been in line, but we don't even know what this roller coaster looks like. We know that's something exciting, but there's definitely something to say that it's good to kind of keep yourself not so entrenched right now into a space that doesn't feel good, because when the right direction comes, or the right arrow of love, or maybe within yourself, you're ready to finally do it. Could be just within yourself, you're emotionally haven't been ready, or now you're ready. It can move in the right direction. The reason why we got this Moon card reversed is the Three of Swords overall. Wow, that is nuts. So heartbreak card. I think that we are dealing with, especially with the soulmate card right reversed, and the challenge, and the Empress reversed. I would say, you know, I think that we're just heartbroken that there's been situations that didn't pan out, or situations in our relationships, if you're in one, that have just not gone in the right direction, and it's really caused a really hard emotional time. But really, I think it's about letting go of that emotion of the heartbreak itself, and moving forward as best as you can now, and learning to let go and to be open to the awesomeness. The one positive card we got here is this Eight of Wands, which is, it's a new direction. It's a new energy of new love. Our overall card that we got here is, wow, the third house. So communication, or more stimulation, new environments, new fresh energy, new starts, seeing things from a better perspective. We got the Eye of Horse here in this third house card. I would say that this is definitely about what's more exciting, what's more stimulating, what actually gets your wheels turning here. I think that's going to be very important. And we pulled the Stormy card. So I feel that, you know, it's a stormy time. It's the transition, though, out of the storm. I feel like it's been stormy. We understand that it's been stormy, but we got to see the brightness of things that are to come. And our last card that we're going to do for your sexy love time is the Eight of Cups upright. We're moving on from situations, actually, that we've been used to in that kind of comfort setting. And I would say having to get out of situations where we just feel that total comfort, and go into new places. I think that we have to take a little bit more risks and look in new areas, and look in new energies in the relationship, or look in new areas. And, you know, there's a lot showing here that there's been a lot that just did not work out, and is, and the Astro dice are saying, we got a North node in the 12th house here, Virgo. Well, we're clearing out things out of our reality that don't feel like they're within the scope of our spirituality. They don't feel in alignment. That's a very big alignment aspect. So things that are not in alignment aren't going to work. There's no chiropractor for this kind of love situation that feels out of our spiritual alignment. You can't even almost describe it. It's just like, it just doesn't work, or it just doesn't make sense, or it doesn't feel like it will find a route. Don't focus on the belief in this kind of like hypnotic aspect that you can create for yourself, that it can be fixed. This is definitely not fixing terrible kind of false emotional situations.
False emotional situations. Yeah, I mean, I feel like with that, you know, it's the acknowledgement of kind of like a great like disconnect, even kind of within inside of our own selves. You know, maybe our wants and our desires got a little washed away. You know, and it's kind of getting back within inside of ourselves and not necessarily settling just because a situation might arise and it might have some perfect aspects of it, but you can kind of feel on the fundamental level that it might not be right, you know, and it's kind of taking that step back and really acknowledging that, you know, and be like, okay, I'm okay with this maybe not working out. Did I put all my energy into it? You know, did I actually give it the old college try, so to speak? You know, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, if situations don't play out, as long as you put in that energy to receive it, you know, that's what it comes down to. And you can be fine with walking away knowing that you actually were welcoming to the love and to the aspect of your life that you're actually looking forward to. You know, it's kind of like a build up to the spring cleaning, I think, that we're all kind of going into and saying, what's this new life going to look like for us? And what's it going to end up being for us in the long run?
Yeah, because we can give things our best shot, and then how much more do you just keep telling yourself, like, to where it's not even doing anything productive, or it's not moving anywhere forward, or it just feels off, or it just feels like some things just happen and they just happen. Sometimes maybe we could try to overly emotionally get deep, like, well, why did this not happen? Like, there's so many relationship coaches and so many people trying to understand, like, in spirituality, like, well, that didn't happen because you haven't worked on this and you haven't done that. Just some things just don't work.
Sometimes it's just not the right fit. Square peg, round hole.
Yeah, or just it's just timing, or it's just people are unique and different, and we're in a universe that's changing so rapidly and so differently and so weird that it's just like, it feels like we've dealt with a lot of weird situations, and even though it's going to continue being weird, it feels like we're looking for the right kind of weird, the kind of, you know, Craig would know all about the right kind of weird.
100.
All right, the first.
When you know, you know.
Then you know, you know. Aries again. This is so weird. This is 3 weeks in a row. Aries first. Okay. Aries really wanna know what's crack-a-lacking. So remember, that's all random. Okay, I'm ready. First card that we got for the Aries this week is, we got the Queen of Wands in reversed here. Your challenge is the High Priestess upright. Your overall here is the King of Pentacles. And the way that we get through this challenge is the King of Cups reversed. Well, so you got two kings here and one queen and the High Priestess. So this is pretty upper level stuff that you're dealing with in your love life. I would say the Queen of Wands reversed is, you know, you're dealing with either somebody who feels like they're turning on you, or you're over it. Queen of Wands reversed feels like, you know, you did something, you feel dumb. Like, I gave so much of my emotion and love into something, and or somebody else is right now showing the signs that they're not really into it as much. And the challenge here is with the High Priestess, who's the one that tells the King and the Queen, the ones that tells all these cards, like, hey, this is what to listen to from the divine. It's almost like you're not wanting to listen to it. It's like, you're almost like, I don't want to hear that. Everything's fine, or I'm going to make everything okay. Make sure that you pay attention, though, because this overall is the King of Pentacles. Don't you want to build the ultimate real love relationship that actually works and has everything that it wants, and the ultimate castle and the ultimate feeling, and it's a physical card of it physically manifesting correctly? It's one thing to, in the heart, have something, but if there's a disconnection in the heart and all that, how do you think the physical reality is going to be? Is it going to blossom, or is it going to be a cold, dead kind of like energy that you're just in? The way that you get through this is the King of Cups reversed. I would say that, you know, you need to like pull out of thinking that you have control of how people's emotions are, or especially like your own emotions. It's like, I think it's time to learn that you need to listen to what your intuition's saying instead of getting oversensitive and kind of having a loss of control here emotionally. You need to get control back of your emotions and be able to listen to what it feels like in the gut, and not the emotional sense, because I think that you're convoluting emotions and intuition in the wrong way. It's almost like, I will do this no matter what, but really? It's like continuing to push something that really is not going in that right direction. Or maybe this is for some people that are just completely out of the game of love. They're just like, stopped it. You don't want to do it. You're just kind of doing yourself, working, making your own money. You know, the challenge though is like, aren't you listening? There's gifts, there's spiritual gifts, and you're missing. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Those people who are not doing anything about love, you're lonely as fuck. King of Cups reversed with the High Priestess. You're missing out on some sort of feeling like there's something better for you in life, and that you know that it's there. But it's like you got to enter the game. You got to do something about it. You did pull the King of Cups with that Queen of Wands. So you got to fill yourself up with what the real love is, the real emotional happiness. I feel like this is you know, kind of taking care of yourself and realizing, you know, I need the ultimate feeling. I don't just need the ultimate kind of what I feel in my heart would be best. And I know that might sound contradicting, but there's one thing to kind of like be like, ooh, look at, that's, you know, she's hot. She walked down the street. But, you know, as a guy, like, you might see a girl walk down the street and be like, oh, she's hot, but it doesn't mean you're emotionally connected. Doesn't mean you're going to run up to her. Some guys do, but, you know, it's just like, okay, yeah, girls do it too, right? Like, he's hot, he's cute, whatever. Like, that's one thing. But this is where it's like you want to feel something all the way. Not just have it be this kind of like, well, yeah, like, this is something, but it's not. It's got to be fulfilled fully. So don't feel stupid about pulling out of situations where there's not enough emotion, right? You want the ultimate feeling. You want control of your emotions too, which it shows there's a little bit of uncontrol that's been going on. But I would say that you're regaining your control by realizing some things are just kind of light and not that deep. And depth is important. Wow, you pulled the Three of Swords. That's two readings in a row. You pulled the Heartbreak card overall with the King of Pentacles. Don't embody and own a heartbreak. I think that, you know, whether that's you single and staying lonely, or you tried something, or you're trying, I feel like this is also a lot of Aries trying to go back to exes still that have not listened to the message. Like exes that they were actually in relationships with, or that they just have been in really weird spaces for a long time. I think that this is definitely Aries kind of in a weird space. We're going to have to get this overall. Pisces, I believe, you know what, this is about learning to get back to the spiritual soul of who you are and what connects with your soul. Because I feel like you're dealing with energies that are not within your same soul connection. Like it's almost like you guys are coming from two different places. You're dealing, and if you're lonely, you're definitely lonely, and you're kind of like almost out in the ethers, and you need to come back to reality. You also pulled the Courage card. So I would say you have to have the courage to let go, the courage to believe in what's really the soul journey and what's the true soul journey for you. And I'm pulling a shadow card because I got a feeling I'm not going to pull just love cards for people or sex cards or whatever, you know. Downcast pride. I would say that stop going over something that you're really not even that prideful for. It's almost like, you know, you're willing to take 15th best. It's not something that you really even want. So it's like, have the courage to take on something that's not going to bring you down, and that's going to bring you higher, and that's going to be a magical journey, not just kind of a fantasy that's not a fantasy, an illusion. There's a great opportunity this week, but I feel like you got to let go of something that's either the lonely part and staying away from partnership and the fear of that, or trying to hang around some relationship that's just not going well. And if you are in just a marriage or something like that that's been long term, I think that this is you just, you know, how do you bring more depth to the relationship, because the physical stuff's not doing much. You know, Mercury in the 5th of Libra. Well, it's time for you to think about your love life, and especially your relationship love life, extremely. And I think that it's also about communicating from your heart space on what you feel is fair and what you deserve. But I also feel that this is a time for you to realize that, you know, the kind of partnership that you want is out there, and you have to understand that, and you have to be willing to be in the environment that cultivates that. So if you're into spirituality and you're hanging around a bunch of people who don't believe in spirituality, I mean, like, the environment's not going to make you that happy. And if you're trying to find a physical love partner through that, that's not going to work out. It also means start flirting again. Mercury in the 5th, like, learn how to flirt. Mercury in Libra, know how to connect with the kind of partner you want. Reach out to the kind of partner that you want. Like, if you're in a relationship, you're going to have to bring up the issues that are happening in love and kind of rebalance these things at the same time too.
Yeah, and you have to be able to have an honest line of communication with yourself too. Sometimes we get too caught up in that emotional realm, especially when it comes to relationships, especially when there's a deep passion that we're feeling, and we can kind of get lost in there, and and our thought process can get a little cloudy, and we can misjudge certain situations when there's been a truth in front of us this whole entire time, and we don't necessarily want to see it because that love is there, because that appreciation is there, but there has to be, again, that communication with ourselves of a level-headed, and kind of take that emotional aspect out of it and see it for what it is. See it for the truth. Does it actually make sense? What is it that you're actually doing? And is it worth the time? It comes back to the time that we spoke about in the initial reading. Your time is precious. And so, yeah, maybe you've been putting all this effort into it and things have been working out here and there, but is it really right? Is it really that absolute truth? Is it that absolute desire that you actually are worthy and that you actually deserve to get it? And I think those are the conversations that we need to have.
Yeah, if you deserve something great, then have it. Don't start rummaging through the trash cans now and finding gold right now.
And don't try to make a situation look differently than it actually is.
That's I think the biggest takeaway is it's okay to just look at the truth and be like, okay. But by doing that, then that opens the door to something great instead of staying in that loop. Because I think we're all in a lot of loops, including Aries. We're all in a lot of loops, and we're all trying to get out of loops.
100.
We are now on to Capricorn. People at home hate when I make noises. I can't eat, so gosh, he chewed gum. He sipped his Capri Sun a certain way.
You pop from the bottom or the top?
Well, I just did from the top just to show, but when I was a kid, I always did from the bottom. All right, Capricorn.
Or right in the center of it, and you make like a sailboat?
Yeah. There was a lot of other things besides sailboat. Or I would fill it up the back, and then I'd do it, and then become like a cup, and then go.
Yeah. Or you freeze it, and then you cut the top off.
Yep. Those were the best.
Yeah.
I should do that. 5 of Wands in reversed. Is your first card here, Capricorn. Your challenge card is the Strength reversed. Your overall is the Ace of Swords in reversed. And you did get the 4 of Cups as the way to get through this Strength reverse challenge. Capricorn, what's the deal? You're not wanting to show up at all. You're in maybe you just want to do your own thing right now, or you just don't want to deal with things, whether that's even a good situation. Like, oh, here's a good situation. No, I don't want to show up. Oh my God. But I would say that we're going to have to get deeper in this card, but this is not wanting to deal with any kind of issues in love right now, or situations or get deep on anything, or even go into any kind of scuffle about things or cause anything. You just don't want anything to cause. You want nothing to be caused. You don't want any, even good, right? You don't want anything to go really good because that'll change your life. You don't want anything to go bad. That'll change your life. You just kind of not wanting to deal with anything. But look at your challenge, the Strength reversed. I mean, are you going to really go anywhere with your life? Or is this really just you're afraid? I would say that there's a lot of fear. There's a fear of the good things. There's a fear of the bad things. And it also is kind of like this, I'm going to be honest with you, this has to deal with more of your personal life. You're overacting as you're this really strong person, and that you've got all these things together and all this stuff, and you're putting too much energy, I would say, into kind of an untamed space of just kind of not wanting to get involved. That might sound crazy, but like you're just like not wanting to be involved in things, and you're putting way too much energy, I think, into yourself. And then it's this kind of like false identification of that you have the strength to do things, when really the strength would be to like, you know, go and see what the hell's going on, confront the issues, confront the good things that are happening, because your overall is the Ace of Swords in reversed, which means you're not going to go anywhere. Nothing's going to create anything new. So your love life is kind of suffering at this point due to your own inability to show up to controversial issues, whether that's good or bad. And that Ace of Swords reversed, I mean, it's piercing a new reality and clearing this awesome new space to create a new environment and setting up into the clouds, into a whole new world. But you know, it's like you're okay with wherever you're at right now. And that's, I think, the issue is to get through this challenge. It's like you're not receiving shit. You're not getting anything. It's also a card that just gets no gifts and denies the gifts and pushes it away. So either A, there's two stories. You're a Capricorn who's not enjoying your love situation at all. And I'll say that for all Capricorns. Two, well, this is the first story, is that you have this awesome gift coming in. You don't want to deal with it. I don't want anything to change in my life. And then the other is, I hate the relationship situation I'm in. I don't want to deal with it, but you know, I'm just going to sit here in sorrow. And that's the thing that's trying to give you the strength to face with it. And you're not wanting to do that. I don't know what is going on here. This is weird. You got the Emperor with that Five of Wands. You want control of everything to get what you want with no problems, no changes. That doesn't happen. You do not get greatness of what you want in your love life. You do not get the ultimate love. This is having to put in the work. You're not wanting to put in the work. And that even means the work to exit, the work to enter. You're not wanting to do that. But you're going to have to, you got a strength card reverse with an Emperor. Hey, you got to deal with it, and you got to show up. It's almost like people are trying to show up, whether it's your relationship and they're trying to talk about things, and you're like, nah. Or great, powerful energies coming your way, and you're like pushing it away, like, nah. Or you're expecting other people to do all this stuff, and you're not the one showing up either. Wow. Ace of Swords in reverse came with the Star card reversed. You don't want to reset at all. You don't want anything to change. You don't want anything to be rebirthed. You don't want anything to change at all. Hey, that's more power to you. I mean, if that's what you feel that you're at within your life, then this might just be a reading that, you know what, with your love life, nothing is going to happen this week because you're choosing not to. Although with the way that the stars are going, I would say that that's not going to be the case. But I would say that you are almost getting to a place of complete, like, do you just want to be celibate and just say that you're not going to date, be in love, or be in a relationship and just do it as because you're doing it because of a contract or just to get through life? Is that where you're at in your life right now? I would say that this has to deal with numbness. This has to deal with emptiness. This has to deal with replacing emptiness with just, you know, basic things, alternative stuff. But missing out on gifts, missing out even on the gift of strength that could be used to face situations and get to the bottom of things instead of pushing it off to the next week. So you really like the side burner right now, and there's only so much you can cook on the side burner or how hot anything could get. You pulled the Aquarius card. You're disconnected. I think that you're just kind of, you're probably more focused on your friends. Well, your friends aren't going to, unless your friends are friends with benefits, they ain't going to fucking get your rocker off. But you're also in a space of disconnection, and I think that you're trying to understand everything, but I think that's the problem, is that you're too focused on understanding instead of doing, instead of facing things. And you pulled the Time card. You're in your own dimension, literally. You're in your own weird space, and you need to get back down to earth. You need to get back down to life. You need to connect. I think that you're having a disconnection issue within yourself, and others feel disconnected, or you feel like others are disconnected to you, but you're not knowing how to step into. And you're also doing this whole weird thing about, you know me, with especially the Time card. I just feel like your whole idea of time or how you're living your life and you want to change it's off. So it's like, if you think like, well, my schedule or how I'm doing things in my life and time, and you're also taking too much time and you're not dealing with things in a timely manner at all, when it's time to deal with things, you don't want to deal with them. So you're really off on the whole time thing in your own weird world, your own real weird spaceship. I'm going to be pulling more shadow probably than sexy time cards. I just got a feeling about that. And revenge. Wow. Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're here to go get revenge on somebody, but you know what it is I think that you have a lot of passion and a lot of energy, and you're not showing it, and you are afraid to show it, and you're contemplating it, and you're holding back. And I think that you're holding back from what you really want in your life. And I think you're frustrated deep inside, and you're trying to disconnect from that. And that's going to lead to a ticking time bomb eventually. And I would not be playing with that kind of energy if I were you, Capricorn, especially the loneliness or staying single and not dating or avoiding situations or in a horrible relationship. You're dealing with a ticking time bomb in these situations. You got to do something. You got Mercury in the 10th house of Libra. Yeah, it's time to take the responsibility of figuring out what's going on with relationships, having the conversations and being in the environment to actually deal with those things, reaching out to people, making plans with relationships, and actually doing things about it. You have to be responsible now. That's your issue, is you're trying to figure out responsibility. Responsibility is taking a decision, and you're not making a decision. You're not showing up to anything, and you're just in your own weird world.
Yeah, because there's one thing about, showing up, actually just like being in the room, but are you actually, ready to dance? Are you actually welcoming the party? Or are you kind of just existing in the moment and while life just passes you by? Sometimes you have to turn it on. You have to be present. You have to actually be cognitive in those functions that you're doing throughout this day-to-day life without just letting everything just kind of wash past you as you're living. Be present. Make the changes, put the actual energetic force behind it, implement it, be able to bring what you want into your life, but that's by welcoming. That's by actually putting the force behind it, not just kind of sitting back and saying, okay, well, this is going to appear, or, I have my friends here, or I have my lover there, and they're going to make it happen. No, you have to make it happen for yourself. You have to put that force behind you, and you have to make it happen for yourself. Lead by example, maybe, Sometimes we get comfortable in our life. We get comfortable with our peers, with our lovers, with our family, and then we just kind of tune out. This is not the time to do that. This is time to be present. This is time to wake up and take action.
Yeah, I was going to be like, especially since you brought up the force and showing up, it's like you got to make sure that you bring that force, into things. And it's with you, right? Like
100.
Like that's the whole thing, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't want to do that, and I was trying to find the forces with you. And
these are not the droids you are looking for.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that's so what? You didn't say anything?
It's crying out loud either.
May the force be with you. All right, there it is. Lame. See, that's Capricorn right now. I can't even get to the force be with you. Even all the people that fucking hold the force, all the Jedis can't even fucking get to Capricorns right now. They're like, even Yoda, even the baby Yoda that was like a crave a couple of years ago, not Capricorns. I don't know. Yoda's waking up being like, I'm gonna go back to sleep. The force is not with Capricorns. They don't want to be the force.
I watched The Mandalorian actually recently, but the little baby Yoda, it was chill.
Yeah.
It was chill.
Gemini.
Worth a little.
Speaking of baby Yodas, fucking Geminis are baby Yodas.
Baby.
Hey, you got some babies? It's like you could switch Newsom's whole hey, gotta go get some soup at the French Laundry. Baby Yoda soup.
Baby back
ribs. What's going on with Geminis? See what's going on with them. Your first card, Gemini, is the 3 of Wands in reversed. Your challenge card is the Justice card reversed. Your overall card is the Magician upright. And you did get the Three of Cups in reversed as the way to get through this. I will say this, Gemini, this Three of Wands that popped up first here. I don't know why, Gemini, but it's almost like you have lost hope. I think that you have dealt with a situation that you thought all the ships were coming in and it didn't. It's okay. You're still dealing with it if it's already happened too. And I think that you're going to have to drop that. And this challenge is the Justice reversed. I'm going to say this. I feel that the challenge here is you have really become the judge and jury against some really unfair situations. I think you've also missed the wrong boat by trying to pick a different boat. And I would say that maybe you've been a little harsh. You might also be dealing with somebody who's been harsh against you recently, that's overjudged you, that doesn't offer you any options. So there is that Gemini story where you're dealing with somebody who's not optimistic at all. But I think it's like both, right? It's like you're dealing with somebody who's really not that optimistic, who's really not into it, and then you're kind of hardened by it. And I think that's the situation. The overall is the Magician card. So you know the magic and where the magic is and what to have and how to create it. I don't know why you're not doing it. Maybe it's this Three of Cups reversed. It's interesting. It's like, I don't know. It's like the advice here is like, why have you forgotten about fun and awesome connection? It's like, I got a feeling you're dealing with really harsh and dark energy. Maybe not in the sense of like dark, but dark meaning closed off, not much information, not that fun. You're dealing with not fun people. That's making you not optimistic. The overall saying that you do have the Magician, that you have this awesome magic that can create and you know it, but it's like you're going to have to drop a lot of these non-magical situations based off not fun, over-justifying things. You've over-justified relationships too, and you got this Three of Wands reversed. It's like you feel like there's no ship, or you feel like you missed your ship, or you feel like you don't have the adventure anymore, or you've already seen this adventure all the way through and it's not going anywhere. The reason why you pulled that Three of Wands is you pulled the Eight of Cups. Okay, yeah, you got to leave a situation. You haven't left a situation that you have to leave. You're still trying to like hang on a little bit. And this would be stuff that you've been dealing with currently, not just like, okay, from years ago or whatever. I think that you are dealing with much very weird moment to moment situations that have not panned out. You keep trying. And this is like, you got to move on. Like there's something about you having troubles moving on. And that's the way to get to the new adventure in your life. Sorry to say, it's the only thing that's going to help. With that Magician card, you pulled the Nine of Pentacles. You know, the magic is in that you know how to attract in what you want, but also that part of attraction is you showing up to where you want to be and what you want in your life. You're not showing up to where you want to be. And that's where the magic is that you're missing out on. So it's like you're going to the places that you don't want to go, yet the places you want to go, you're creating some unjustified, not fun, really weird part of yourself. Like, I shouldn't go there. I shouldn't do this. Why not? You're in a ninth house transit, the biggest one of your life. It's time to be more open-minded instead of small-minded. Your overall, you pulled the Sun card. Yeah, where's the sun in your life? Where's that power? Where's that life force? Where's that excitement of your soul coming out? Where's the true light that shines? I feel like you're dealing with relationship situations right now that there is zero light, there is zero excitement, there is zero fascinating at all, and it's actually not in alignment with your soul at all. But also, this is you if you're single or you're in a weird place. So you're not showing up for love at all with your sun or with love, and it's time to do that. You must do that. Because it would be draining if you weren't. And you pulled the Divine Feminine. Yeah, it's time to be the feminine. I think that you've been the masculine. I think that you've been trying to control things. I think that you've been also kind of saying no to so many great situations. Or you've been just kind of, you know, I don't know. Maybe this is you leaving just your old... if you're in a relationship, you're not being optimistic. And you're just kind of in a weird space. Or you're dealing with somebody who's not in that space and you got to peace out. But... this Divine Feminine is saying, like, with the sun, I mean, it's a union between your soul and your brightness, and then the energy that will want to embody with you with that, and then also shine and reflect that same light back. And I think that that's what you need, because you're not dealing with that right now. Your shadow card that you got is the sacrifice. This is the issue. You keep sacrificing the light, the goodness, the embodiment for the opposite of that. It's time to let go of the bullshit stuff so you can bring in. That's what to sacrifice. Let go of the bullshit that's not working and let go and move on to new energy and out of the energy that you're in right now and get back to your true self, get back to how you really are and bring the excitement back, man. You don't know how to have a party anymore. Geminis used to be fun. Geminis are boring now. I don't know what happened, but you guys are boring now. Maybe this is just me just trying to antagonize you to get you to be fun again, but that's the truth and you know it. You become a boring old person. 8th house, Aries, South Node. This is your issue. I think that you are so trying to control exactly who you are and you're so hyper-focused on everything that you need and want. You need to focus on that the value of relationships are based upon the value that they are and to actually build relationships from what you want instead of trying to control how things go. You are in way too much of a control place. And also, I think that the shadow stuff that you're seeing right now is based off the shadows that are coming out from within you. And that's just some damn truth. Boring. Yeah. I'm calling it. Gemini's are the most boring right now in the zodiac at the moment. They're boring.
Well, it's like that dimmer switch, you know, and sometimes we kind of allow it just to continue to slide down that bar. It's like it's been greased up a little too much and we're not really recognizing that maybe we're not shining as bright as we used to. Maybe we're not radiating that beauty, you know, that you have inside yourself, that beautiful light. And the darkness isn't always a bad thing. You know, that's where we find out our deepest desires. That's where we find out where our strengths are. That's where we acknowledge our weaknesses. But if we reside there for too long, then it just becomes a part of us, you know, and then it can start to fully consume different aspects of our life as to maybe we're kind of recharging in one portion of our life and it's overspilled, you know. How long can you keep that light dimmed while you're trying to recharge? Sometimes you got to flick it back up on there. You just got to flick it. You got to turn that brightness back up. You have to get back inside yourself and find those passions, find that fun, find that love and that happiness that you once held and bring that back out into your life.
Yeah, because when you're really boring, you start to do really stupid things.
Yeah, you get complacent, you get lazy, you start fucking up. Shit doesn't matter anymore. You just eat fucking Doritos all day.
Or just sit around and do nothing or pick stupid people that are boring around you.
Just ripping 2-footers all day, just fucking watching railroad road rules.
Yeah, or parental control.
Yeah.
I can't advocate it enough, but being boring is not cool. I'm sorry to tell you. You will never be cool. I get it that sometimes in life we feel like we need some sanctuary and we need to kind of go into peaceful places and stuff. You've done that so much that you have lost your edge.
You've lost that love.
You've lost that edge, Gemini.
Oh,
You're boring now. The most boring that you could ever be.
Stick in the mud.
You might as well, you know what? A stick in the mud's more fun than a Gemini right now. Ah! At least it pokes and it prods and there's some mud parties. Aquarius.
Is that
no, Sagittarius. Sagittarius.
Stick in the mud, or you're just happy to see me?
Stick in the mud is, gosh, what is more boring than a stick in the mud? I would say watching JB sign executive orders.
You're going to get carpal tunnel syndrome. Your hands are going to get all tired of signing so many papers.
I mean, you know, you could tell. I don't even know if he's like, am I grabbing a pen or am I grabbing my medication? He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Okay. Let's see what's going on with Sages in your love life right now, Sag. Your first card that you picked here is the Temperance card in reversed. What'd you get as this challenge? Your challenge is the 8 of Wands. Oh, wow. Your overall here is the Knight of Cups. How are we going to get you through this challenge? 2 of Swords. All right, you're in some really unnatural situations, and it's been going on a long time. Don't want to tell you this. Temperance card reversed in love reading is just, it's like fake. You're with a fake, it's fake relationship. You know, there's fake news and then there's fake relationships too. It's more of the identity. Especially, I always like to tell everybody whenever I see this card, like, you could tell fake relationship. It was like, look at the pictures of if you're dating somebody, like, or is there no pictures really? Or watch the videos or whatever. It's the energy, or it's like, sometimes you might prop up the picture just to show that you're there or whatever, but nobody really sees it. There's no laughter in the car. There's no laughter in the vibe. It's like, you got to get out of these situations that are fake, that are not real. They're inorganic. And it's like, if you're going to continue to pound down the unorganic energy of a relationship energy right now, Sag, it's not going to go good at all, because your challenge is the Eight of Wands. You're missing out on the ultimate love of your life, even though you think you might be in there, but it's fake. It's like fake love, you know, it's like love potion number 9 shit. Like, sorry, that shit don't exist. And you got this Knight of Cups as your overall. It's time for you to walk emotionally and take the risk emotionally and where you really want to feel. I think that you are not willing to really go into feeling. I think that you're afraid to go into the true feelings, because it's going to first cover the feelings of the fake energy or the false energy and then take you to the good stuff. And look at this. The way you get through it is stop hanging on the fence about which direction to take about happiness and love. It's like you're just like, oh wait, no, should I do this? Should I do that? No, it's like, hello, it's either thebomb.com or not. I'm just going to drop it. Thebomb.com or not. That's it. It's super simple. Super simple. But for some, you've come into way weird energy, especially the temperance card, is everything's off. Everything's off. So it's like, how is it on? How is it really happiness if it's fucking everything's off, everything's missing, everything's off? And why are you even contemplating trying to go, well, why is it missing? It's been missing so many times. That's like buying a car and it's a lemon and not trying to get your money back and still drive it. I bought a car that was a lemon. I got that motherfucker turned right in and got fucking my money back and everything. You know, it fucking happens. Oh, the motor blew. It's a new car, but that's okay. No, it's not okay. Wow. Look at you. The pattern has not stopped. 10 of Swords with that Temperance card reversed. And that's why I was saying that coming in. I felt it. I was just like, you just still have not gotten this whole fake thing down. And you want to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Or it's the avoidance of natural, organic, and beautiful. It's like right when it gets to that organic place, you pull out. You want control in a weird way. You want it to be a certain way. You want it to look a certain way. No, you know, it's like I always laugh at the Temperance reverse card too. It's like something is organically going, and sometimes, hey, after 2 dates, we're in love. Or maybe it's 4 dates. Who knows? But when you start to do Temperance reversed, it's always funny to me. It's like, well, it's going really good, but I'm going to not do anything about it. Or it's going really bad, and I'm going to say that it's awesome. It's like, oh my God. That Knight of Cups, you pulled the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. That's what I'm saying. You need to move the emotional waters and have the courage to move your emotions, even though it's slow and it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to pull out of feeling like a victim and feeling like you're in a really shitty situation that you're too afraid to reveal. You're dealing with a heavy Scorpio moon that's going to be in your 12th, squaring all this Aquarius in your 3rd. You're going to have to be realizing to the facts of your subconscious patterns and issues and everything that's not in alignment this week. And you're going to have to realize that. Your overall card that you did pull here, Aries card, it's time to take confidence and get what you really want. And again, not the what you want based off subconscious issues and invalid issues of truth and organic, naturally connected. Like, that's not going to work at all. You pulled the Earth card. It's time to get the physical aspect of things back. It's time to get what you really want and identify the real things. Also, this is about attraction. Yeah, are you really getting what you really are attracted to? Or are you looking at those weird eyes all weird and that weird smell and that weird look? And then you look on, you know, a movie, or you look on your phone and you're like, oh God, is this is what I'm with? But let me just keep swiping down because I don't want to be reminded of what I have to look at every day. Or somebody's not attracted to you and you feel it. And maybe they feel sorry for you, and that's what you have to get over, is why be in a relationship where they're feeling sorry for you? Because that's what I'm picking up too. Like, you might be in something and somebody feels sorry for you and they're just holding the space for you. And then it could be the opposite way too. You're in a relationship because you feel sorry for somebody. That's the main thing here. The shadow that came up with this is the black flower fragrance. Yeah, here you are, this shadow of just continuing to put more cologne over your underwear after not taking a shower for weeks to try and cover up the smell of the things that need to be cleaned. I don't know how much, what was that spray called that girls get? It's called just a freshen up spray. It's like ocean mist or something. No, it used to be old. It was like in the 90s. It's like so funny. Forgot the name of it, but just keep spraying that on, Sag. Try it. You've already been doing it. You got Taurus, Neptune, first house. Ooh, the delusional things that are of value that really are not that you think that you want. You know what you want, but get out of the delusion and let go of the false. Again, there's so much about falsity in this reading, especially illusionary with Neptune and that temperance reversed. It's time for you to get what you want by letting go of the false story. And then right behind that false story is the true story and the real things you really want. And you're also suppressing what you really want deeply. And your needs of what you want are being suppressed by another person, probably, possibly. Deep. Oh, it's called Summer's Eve, if I remember right.
Maybe we all need to act like it's a nice summer's eve. But yeah, you can't be afraid of this ascension. You can't be afraid of allowing yourself to grow. It actually takes courage. It takes a willingness to step forward and say, no, okay, I know my potential. I know my greatness. I know where I want to go. Maybe it doesn't look like I'm there right now. Maybe it doesn't look like I'm taking all the right steps, but that's okay because I know that I'm on this path. I know that I'm aligning with the individuals that I need to. I know that I'm not going to allow myself to be held down any further. But are you going to take the steps to actually put that into motion? Again, it starts with you. It starts with that knowingness, and it starts with that energetic force that you have. What is it that's holding yourself back? Where is it that maybe you're limiting yourself? Because your partner's not catching up either. That's a big aspect when it comes to relationships and finding partners that we think are going to align with us. Are they truly on the same level? Are they truly going to match us with that energetic? And again, it's not going to be on the same level. It's almost like, like a bar graph, so to speak. We're going to have certain points in our life and certain aspects of ourselves that are going to be stronger than others. And that's where we kind of lift them up, and they're going to have the same. They're going to be able to lift us up too, but they have to be willing to match that energetic level. If it's off, it's off, and that's okay. Some people that they don't fully align, but it's actually having that courage to address it and to face it and to not stifle your growth, not stifle that ascension that you are capable and that you are worthy of having.
Yeah, it's like being trapped where you end up like, how did I get in this and why am I still doing this, but I'm still doing it anyway, and I'm like in a weird like simulation. You're like, you know what it is? It feels like you're in the game The Sims, and somebody just put this person and said, here you go, and this is who you're supposed to be with. And you're like, no, but okay, I'm going to just play it out. And you're letting some weird little gamer control you in this relationship and wherever you're at right now. And you're just like, I'm not going to do anything about it. Truman Show shit. Mm-hmm. Truman Show relationship shit.
Here's love. Here's go.
Love. And then remember, she's like, no, honey, like you should stay and do this and do that and do. And you're like, what the fuck now? I feel called to this one chick and she's watching me every day and I don't even know. And I have to get in a boat and I have to go all the way to the end. Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do, Sag.
I got to go.
You have to get out of the Truman Show.
Get your ass out of the Truman Show.
Get out of the Truman Show.
Stop fucking around. Come on down.
Taurus. Oh, Truman Show relationship. That would be really fun. A paid actress or actor to be with you, or a paid human.
Human. Paying humans for affection. That's out of the ordinary.
Yeah, it sounds
Who
glorious.
does that? I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
Skirt.
You know, I'm gonna just say this to Sagittarius really quick because I know they don't like me because it's going. They're like, this is going on years now. You just say like this shit, and I'm like, well, one, it's the cards. Two, it's the astrology. Three, you got Neptune squaring your sun. Four, you have the South Node in your sign, and you had eclipse there, and you are in the Saturn cycle from 2002 and 2001, and you are dealing with a lot, like. For example, had Jupiter go through your sign to try and wake you up, but it had squares to Neptune. We had never seen that in our home signs in our lives. Like, you are waking up from so many false dreams and too afraid to do what you really want. It's like what you really want, you see, and you just... But you let all the things that are bad hold you back. And whether you want, that's using astrology, and whether you want to admit that or not to yourself, that's up to you. I'm just the messenger, and if you want to shoot me all you want. All right, Taurus, let's see what's going on with the Taurans. Let's see what's going on with the moo-moos. They get the golden tarot. Wow, that sounds like a wild fucking cow. I don't know.
It's a cow that munched
You just
on
get the
some,
shot,
some
Mr.
cow.
Cow? Did you just
I
get the
flipped
shot?
over a couple cow patties and found me some nice
You got some nice new genetic
appetizers.
cloned.
Yeah.
No, it's not from that fetus. It's clone though. It's a clone.
I get mine from cow patties after it rains on a fresh green grass.
Mad cow disease.
Yeah, it makes me real mad.
Wonderful. All right, you pulled the Three of Cups in reverse as your first card. We're going to go into that. Your challenge is the Ace of Wands reversed. You pulled the Two of Pentacles as your overall. And how do we get to your challenge? You got the King of Swords in reversed. All right, Taurus, why are you not wanting to have the ultimate party of your life? You pulled the card of having a good time and partying. It also means that you're socializing in the wrong places. It's like, it's not bad though. It's a good card. It just means like, maybe you should spend your energy around the people you really want to be around right now that are going to advance your life, because look at this. Ace of Wands is your challenge to the new start of a fresh, new, exciting life. That's what you're realizing that you are not able to do. So the people that you keep hanging around, they're not doing it. So maybe it's time to really start surrounding yourself around the people, the friends, and especially lovers situations that actually take you to that life that you want to go. You're not doing that though. You're hanging back. You're hanging around people that are comfortable and easy, and they also aren't giving the best advice. You know, I got to say that with Three of Cups, they don't give good advice. So, you know, they're also drunks, or they take you to parties, and that's like the energy that brings you to this Two of Pentacles. You're in a space in your love life where you can't decide if you want to be on land or sea, or you want to be here. You're juggling. And that's creating this King of Swords reversed. You are over trying to think how to make your life instead of showing up to it, and especially the people that you hang around or lack thereof. You know, Three of Cups reverse could also mean that you don't show up to the party of the ultimate. You have like this ultimate great story trying to happen, but you're not showing up to it. You know, it's like you don't want to show up to it. You might feel like others don't want to show up to it, but the real thing is that you're really in a place of juggling. You haven't made your understanding. And King of Swords reversed. The universe is saying, stop trying to figure it all out. Just let it happen and show up to the party and be around the energy of the people that are there. But you're still contemplating quite a lot here and still trying to figure it out from that standpoint. Why'd you get that Three of Cups? You pulled the Eight of Swords. There you are. That is not an easy card. That is a card of being sick. That is the card of being stuck in a toxic environment. And I hate to say it, it's around the people that you're around. I know there's a love reading, but this also deals with people in this situation. But it also means also not showing up for the ultimate party. I mean, I would feel like I would want to just sit down and eat till I couldn't. They had to literally truck me out of the house and cut the wall out if I just kept missing the parties of my life. Look at on this Eight of Swords. This person is in bed, too big. They have to cut this person out. I don't know if you remember that episode where they cut that lady out of her bedroom. And full on.
Yeah.
But above it is the ultimate happiness and love and all that stuff. No, you're going to just sit around and be around. And especially with people that are partying, possibly drugs, or they're not real. They're I hate to say it, they're just people that just, they don't have their shit together. Like they don't even, and you want to have the ultimate love experience. So if you're in a partnership too, you could be in a partner that has stupid friends, and then you're going and hang out with stupid friends, or there's just a bunch of this where it's wasting a bunch of time, and you're holding yourself hostage yourself. And that's what's creating you to be sick, because you're not around energy, or just really feeling toxic, because it's toxic to hold yourself from happiness. That's what creates more toxicity in your life. And when it comes to this Two of Pentacles, I pulled the Tower card. Wow. Your juggling is causing you to have your life fall apart, your love life to not show up. You got to also take the growth of life instead of juggling it. I think it's like, make a choice in your life. Sitting on the fence and trying to figure it out, hanging around the wrong people, distractions is your toxicity. And then you're just sitting around seeing the world you want instead of living it, and ending up getting, in this case of this card, so big that we'll truck you out one day. We'll get a big chainsaw and we'll break out the window and the door. Even if you are a couple stories up, we'll get a big tractor and pull you out. Mercury is your overall card. It's time for you to actually get stimulated, have conversations, and change your environment. Bless you.
Thank you.
You got to change your environment. You got to change things up. You got to live a more exciting life. It's like, I don't know what the hell is going on here, but you're just not living in that space. You're not communicating, and you're in the environment that's totally not the environment in which is going to cultivate the exciting love life that you want. So you're going to have to make that a priority this week. You got the Friendship card, and that's all I told you, it was about friends. That's the issue. You're in love with friends, not in love with love. You don't have love. You're dealing with friendships. That's all you do. It's like, I'm sorry to say this. People like to say, like, it's best to fall in love with your best friend. Yeah, it's first about falling in love and then realizing that that person's an awesome friend too. Not friend that you happen to like a lot, and then, I'm sorry to say, the opposite of friendship is love in astrology. But it also is this direction of people, you keep picking people that are going the opposite direction because of where you're going and hanging around. Also has to deal with the people that you hang around. Again, I said friendships a lot, and that, I can't make that shit up. And your shadow that is you're going through is forgetting oneself. You forgot who you are. You forgot what you want. And you're putting yourself last, even though you think you're putting yourself first. I would say that, you know what you want, so go get it and go put yourself in that environment. And it's okay to hang around and keep friends around. But I think that for you, geez, if your love life is your friendship life, well, then why do you even watch this show? Just keep hanging out with your friends. I'm sure you'll get all your knockers off with that one. You pulled Aries in the 6th house, or sorry, that's the 9th with the Mercury. It's time for you to understand the new adventure and the new stories in your life. I think that that's the problem that can be solved very quick. Is all you have to do now is look broader, and what you want, it's time to open that door. You're not opening the door of what you really want, and you're not really showing up and putting it all in. There's got to be this action force, and you've got to speak about it. You got to put yourself in that environment. What's that environment, and what's that story? You can have that story. You're choosing the opposite story of what you want and living the opposite story. And this is kind of I'm giving Taurus a little extra right now. You're actually living the story you don't want to live because you're choosing not to live the story you want to live.
Yeah, it's being willfully blind to the situation, almost, and just allowing life to pass by. you know, just because maybe we like the view that's around us or we like our friends. And I'm seeing some in the chat saying the friends is love, you know. Yeah, it's a different type of love though. You know, obviously you can love any individual that comes into your life, but there's the difference of the true partner love, that true acknowledgement of I need this individual in my life on a sexual stage, you know, on the friendship aspect comes as well with it too, but there is a complete difference. And the love that we're talking about is that sensual desire, is that knowingness that at every moment you need that individual in and around you. So why is it that
you know what the difference between love and friendship is?
What is it?
I don't suck your dick, Craig. You know what I mean? Literally.
That is true. That is true, but I still love you.
I still love you, but I don't love you like that.
No.
Hello?
Yeah. And so it's finding that desire, it's finding that passion, you know. You got to get yourself out of the woods and into life, back into that desire.
People are like, wow. It's fucking true though. I don't know. It's like we talk about love language and spiritual community. Everybody puts it up now and shit. It's like, hello, why do you think love? Most people that actually find love, it's through physical touch. Is number one. Other people who put other ones in front, they're not looking for love. They're looking for a fucking person that like they can feel comfortable and safe with, and then they don't put that first, and then they realize that everybody else in the world, the difference between your lover and everybody else is that something's getting sucked. Everybody else ain't sucking it.
Boom. Sucking and fucking, baby.
I mean, that's why Scorpio rules sex, and that's the balance of Libra of like what's the difference here, and relationships are defined by what's different, and so same with Aquarius, what's different, like, you know, it's like I don't understand. I don't understand why people think I'm fine, I'm just hanging with my friends and all day and okay. Virgo, when you're looking for love at the same time, like your friends will always be there, but they will never be there to suck your shit off. They're not going to play with your clam, and they're not going to play with your fucking zucchini. Virgo, what a perfect segment to Virgo. Virgo's like, God, please don't refer to that thing as a clam, and please don't refer to that as a zucchini. I like eating clams once in a while. I like cutting zucchinis. I just like cutting them. I really don't like eating them. I just like cutting them. Virgos are so funny. They like doing the act of cooking more than eating it. They just like because they're doing something.
Yep. Clam.
All right, let's see what's going on with Virgo.
Fresh zucchini spaghetti.
Virgo, you got the 9 of Wands as your first card here. Let's see what your challenge is. 9 of Swords. Wow. Ooh, owie. Your overall. You get the 6 of Swords reversed. Wow. How do you get through this challenge? Strength. Well, the walls are up. 9 of Wands is always the walls are up. The defenses are up. What are you trying to defend? I feel like you're trying to defend a partner, or trying to defend somebody, you're trying to defend somebody. And I don't feel like you want to. You got this 9 of Swords here as the challenge. You know it's giving you anxiety trying to defend a situation. Probably because with the 6 of Swords, you know it's not going anywhere. The 6 of Swords goes somewhere and takes you to a ultimate island of where you really want to go. But you got it reversed. So you're choosing to defend somebody or somebody here, or even if it's like you're single and it's new, you've got a lot of walls up, and your challenge is the anxiety to open up, and you're too afraid for it to go anywhere new. But look at the Strength card has shown up to help you get through all this. Like, have the strength. Put the walls down. Have nothing to be afraid of. And God, the most ultimate awesome aspect to get you to a better place is around. Why don't you do something about it? I don't know. We're going to find out. Why are you so afraid? Why do you have all your walls up? 4 of Swords reversed. You're uncomfortable, and you're not in a place in your love life right now where you even feel like it's even that great of a home, or they don't even give you attention. I feel like because the 4 of Swords is like, it's a whole entire place built upon the attention of the person. So, you know, it's a lot. It's an emotional card, but it's reversed. It's like you're not emotionally feeling like you're getting any attention. And you're not comfortable. It's like you're not emotionally. You feel like there's like they're not even. I'm gonna be honest. You're not being honored at all. But this could also be past situations if you're single that you weren't honored, so you keep your walls up because you're afraid of not being honored. That'll get you really far. Not. Your Six of Swords card that you pull reversed. Wow, the Magician. You're too afraid of the magic to go to the ultimate place in your life. You've become magic shy. You've become shy of going to a better place in your life. You become afraid of the ultimate love story here. What happened, Virgo? You want to stay in shitty love stories? Okay. Or you're afraid to advance your relationship to be more magical? That's kind of hard when you have the anxiety to try something new, or you're defending somebody for the things that you're like, what the fuck am I defending this person for? You pulled the Leo card. You gotta have that will. You gotta find love. This is the card that is love. Come on, Leo. You gotta have pride. You gotta have attention. But you also gotta look at more Leo energy. You know, you gotta look at, and it could be about a Leo here. That's the issue. It could be about, Leo issues in your chart. It could just be about, where's the true energy of Leo, the true expression of self. Are you with somebody that doesn't express themselves? Are you able to express yourself because they don't express themselves? These are the issues that are happening right now. Full divine masculine. That's what you got to find. Leo is the divine masculine. It is the sun. I mean, it's like, okay, for ladies, you're dealing with a lady instead of a guy. For guys, I feel like you have to step into your masculine more. You're kind of becoming a girl. That politically correct in today's world? Queen of my world. This is your shadow. I'm in control of my world. Don't fucking let me. I don't want to hear shit. Well, how well is that world really going? And also, you could be living your own queen world, but you want the attention of that queen world and it's not coming. And the shadow is, that too, right? Like you're acting too much like a queen and you want the other person to change, but you're not on the same level, which is not the level you want to be at anyway. So it's like they're not able to come to your level. They're not able to be in your world. They don't have the masculinity. They don't have that expression. Or you don't. You don't have the expression and you're defensive and you're in a weird space and you don't want to move on to anything and you don't believe in the magic and you're uncomfortable and you got to learn how to express yourself and find your own talents and skills and so forth. You got the ninth house Pisces Saturn. So this is definitely taking the illusion away. This is definitely taking the Disney story and crushing it. This is, taking Walt Disney Studios off the front of the building and realizing it's just a building. So, I would say that this is you also too afraid to explore the magic. I mean, you got the Magician reversed and the Six of Swords to move you to a new adventure, but you are holding that back. It's time to take responsibility, to let go of the stories that you don't want to, and embody and take the ambition forward of the ultimate magical story that you want in your life. It's time to do that. You don't have the time to waste anymore. You don't. So.
No, the responsibility solely falls on your shoulders. It is your life. If you're the one living it, you're the one that's going to have to answer to yourself when it all, comes crashing down. Once the reality of life fully catches back up to you, there's no one else to look at besides yourself. If you enabled yourself to just be stagnant for this long times and just festers inside you, this stagnant, this non-growth aspect of life, then that's where you're going to be. That's how you're going to end up. There's going to be all this old growth going on around you, but you're just going to be stuck stagnant, just a little tiny tree in this dense forest, getting no love, getting no light. And why is that? Because you enabled yourself to stop growing. You enabled yourself to get comfortable in aspects of your life that weren't beneficial to the longevity of your life. And this time is precious. So how is it that you're going to actually do it? Are you going to face the music? Are you going to turn it up to 12? Are you going to crank that shit and go get weird? Comes down to you, Virgo. Let's go get it.
Yeah, it's time to do something about expression and being with people that can express themselves. Or if you're with somebody who expresses themselves and you can't, then you're the one who has to learn to do that. But I got a feeling that we're probably seeing a majority of Virgos that know how to express themselves and are dealing with people that don't know how to express themselves. That's what I'm getting deeply.
Expression is key.
I mean, there's nothing worse than somebody who can't express themselves, you know, and it's not bad on them. It's just that's where they're at and that's where you're at. It's not like they're bad people. It's just like,
we're all at different aspects in our life, just trying to make it all
it's like
fit.
I'm the kind of person who I will like, you know, roll the window down and fucking yell at somebody like for fun and be like, woo. That's expressing oneself. Like, you know, whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I'll express myself. But then there's some people who feel like they got to wait till it's on the Google Calendar and they have that moment and then they express themselves, but it might not be at the right timing of the universe or whatever. And that's the whole problem with the calendar system. He hasn't been back in the last couple of weeks, but he is back for the Scorpio reading.
I had a feeling deep, deep, deep down inside of me that a mother Scorpio party, 'cause it ain't no party like a Scorpio party, baby. It's been a while. Baby.
And the fetus came back to rise from the graves.
Baby.
Deep. From deep under the gravestones of Mexico City came. What's your name in Spanish again?
Oh,
George?
that's my car. Me llamo Carlos.
Oh, it's Carlos. Carlos came deep from the graves
I need to get some fucking
of Mexico
braids
City.
again.
Huh?
I need to get some braids again. I need to get my hair did.
With his braids on, he rose
Braids
back
on, gold teeth.
and asked for a Scorpio party.
Baby. Tacos.
And he asked which lady would braid his hair.
Who wants to come braid my hair? Anyone do some braids out there?
See, and that's another thing. I'm your friend, but I won't braid your hair, bro.
Yeah, you don't know how to though. So
Even if I knew how to do that shit.
if you knew how to, I would let you. But I wouldn't let you blow me, son.
Oh, God. I love the chicks who have told me, like, yeah, so this guy, you know, I'm dating him, and then, like, I asked, like, hey, do you happen to, like, you know, swing that other way? And they're like, well, it was just that one time I sucked that dude's dick, you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, goodbye. Nothing wrong. Hey, if you're that way, own it. That's what I think. And there's nothing wrong with being that way. But the people who like, nah, you know, I just, and then they wonder why they get a reading from me 3 years later, and they're like, oh man, like, so yeah, he's not wanting girls anymore, and da da da. It's like, hello, he told you he sucked somebody's dick. These are just basic things. Some people take this shit way too far.
Basic necessities of life. Just
That's right. If that's that person's
necessities.
basic necessity, then fucking more power to them.
Right?
10 of Pentacles.
Ooh.
Wow, that's a good card. This is your first card. Challenge is the Hierophant reversed.
Ooh.
Justice is your overall reversed. And the way we get through this is the 10 of Cups reversed. Interesting readout here. I would say, okay, this is where you're trying to, I call it the Brady Bunch card. I just feel like it's like, where does all the pieces make sense? So it's like, where does everything come together and make this awesome place for love? And unless it's there, you know, it feels like it's off, especially with the Hierophant reversed. It just feels like as your challenge, it just feels like, you know, you want to feel like you want to commit to something where it's like, you want to commit fully the same way. That's the Pope card where you have a tradition and it feels like you got to show up. But I think the challenge is it's like where to show up that feels like it has all the pieces. It kind of feels like a confusing moment for that, especially this week. And this Justice card reversed overall is just feeling like, well, if it doesn't feel like we're on the same level or there's some injustices or maybe even being treated unfairly overall, or being judged, you know, that's one thing that definitely doesn't feel like a place you want to go build a castle with or that you want to commit to. It's kind of interesting that the 10 of Cups here in reversed is the way to get through this kind of commitment place. It's like you don't want to commit to things, especially with the idea that it's going to be the ultimate love story, and especially with this 10 of Pentacles, if you're not feeling that you want to connect there. So it's like, that'd be the worst, is when you ever get in a relationship and there's all these promises and you know inside, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep those promises, because that means you're really maybe not fully all the way there. It also could mean that somebody is dealing with that with you. Like they're having that issue and you're feeling like it's unfair, but it could be both. It could be the opposite. It's one of those two stories here. The reason why we are going through this 10 of Pentacles for you Scorpios, you got the 10 of Wands. You know what? It's time to drop the weight that doesn't actually create the full thing. But also this could be your own weight. This could be like you just have had a lot going on, so it's hard to build something. Or maybe you're dealing with somebody who has too much on their plate and they're promising too much, or they're asking too much of you, or you're asking too much. There's too much being asked, and it's about simplifying things, because this is just too much. There's too much going on. There's too much happening. And then there's that unjustified, judgment on where it's at. But it's like, it's like getting just by moment to moment at the moment. And yeah, wow. Angel of the Night has come up as the Justice reversed. It's like going with our very, very scorpionic, just our truths and what we are and how we are, and not being judged by that. And also realizing in the moment where we're at, like being asked too much, especially 10 of Cups reversed here. It's like, don't take any story where it's like trying to be the ultimate love story all at once and do everything while you're already just trying to get by, like after you just took a shit just to get to the next hour. It's like, this is a time for you to just take things moment to moment right now, not promise too much, not have too much promised of you. You won't be able to deliver. And I think that that's part of the issue. And also just letting your true essence explore itself and see if somebody comes to that beautiful energy in which that is and allows you to be that. That's very important with the Angel of the Night card, because it's like, it almost feels like you come out when you feel like you can come out. But if things are being overpromised or expected of you, or you have to fulfill too much and you don't have enough energy, then yeah, you're not going to show up there. And you're going to only show up at the moments where the energy's clear, everybody's asleep. That's why a lot of psychics stay up late at night. The energy's low. It's like once the energy calms down, it's like that's when you show up. There's a lot of energy that needs to be brought down so you can come back and show back up. Or if you're dealing with the Scorpio, if you're Scorpio and you're dealing with somebody who isn't showing up much, right, Scorpio, it's like, yeah, maybe just like tone down the rhetoric, bring it to basic, simple, so they can come back out. But I got a feeling it's more towards you, since it is a Justice reversed with you as the Angel of the Night here. And it is interesting that both tens, the Wands and the Pentacles at the beginning, it's asking for too much to do too much. And I think that you're being asked too much. You got the second house. Yeah, it's something where it's like, that's a lot to build something, and it takes a while, and it just takes its natural process to grow a plant, right? And it's also the house of owning it. Are you sure you want to own these things? Do you have enough capital in your soul bank account to be able to create and grow these things? It's that, you have to be honest with yourself, be honest with somebody else and stuff like that, and be very clear. Show the books. Like, this is where I'm at energetically. This is what I can handle in my life right now. This is what I can't. Are you cool with that or not? So I can express myself, because this is about learning to have the freedom to express yourself without feeling like you're being asked to do things that you're not able to do at the moment, that you can't own, that you can't show up for energetically. It doesn't mean that that's forever, but it's where you're at. You got the full moon. It's definitely a high emotional week. It's a peak out week. There's definitely a relationship situation that's reaching its peak full emotions to understand where it's going. So I feel like it's not a bad reading. I think that this is more just like getting to where the point is of where this will work or not work. And the shadow card is the temple of your own body. I would say that it's more about understanding who you are, whether it's just in yourself, but I think that you understand your own self, but I don't think that others understand yourself fully. So it's about making yourself be understood better, to let this stuff play out better in your life. Your Astrodice is, you got Taurus, 4th house, Neptune. So I would say that this is where you want to feel the great things, but with Neptune there is the escapism, the illusion. I think that it's kind of unclear where your values are emotionally right now, and those need to be clear. So it's like, this is where you're going to have to be more transparent where you're at emotionally about the values, though. It's so much second house stuff. We got Pentacles to start with, we got second house, and we got Taurus. This is definitely a week about being clear where you're at emotionally and what you can handle, what you can do, instead of, sometimes you might not even be putting it out there, but it looks like the projection, like you can do a bunch of things, but emotionally you can't. So you have to be clear about that instead of the imagery that props up like you can, that's not really shown, no, this is where I'm at, this is what I can do, this is where I can't.
Yeah, let's be real. Individuals are always going to somewhat, project, their willingness to go the distance, or, project that maybe you're okay, you're on a certain level that you're not, and nothing's going to put a Scorpio back into that cave or that dungeon, that Zen den, that dungeon of dreams, quicker than pressure. You can see it in nature as well. Scorpions aren't just out there in the public. A lot of times you flip over that rock and all of a sudden there's a big old scorpion down there looking at you, trying to pinch you, trying to poke you, trying to prod you. And what is it that you're going to do? You didn't necessarily know it was there, and that energy, you might not know it's there. Maybe it's building in the background, but it has to be that natural flow, and if it's not flowing naturally, if it's not in that inner peace, if it's not that full desire, then you have to acknowledge that, and you have to let it go, and you have to be yourself. You got to be honest with yourself, honest, upfront, truthful, 100% always, to every depth, to every emotional state, whether that is the highs of the highs or the lows of the lows, and find that median. It's the black or white aspect of your life, which side are you going to reside on the dark or the light side of the moon, baby?
What about both? No?
Not at the same time.
Both.
Not at the same time.
Who's next?
Everybody's watching.
Everybody, be somebody. Libra.
Watching you.
Libras.
Libra, come on
Libras.
down. Come on down.
I had a warning for Libras, but it's only on highvibe.tv and their weekly sun sign horoscope.
Out in the West Texas.
It's not a bad warning, but it is a warning that did turn Lamar Odom into
I fell in love.
a whorehouse and start taking Chinese herbs for sexual empowerment and had a brain hemorrhage.
Lamar Odom.
All right, Libra, let's see what's going on with you this week. Your first card that you got is the Queen of Cups upright. Wow, that's a great card. Woo. Your challenge that you did get is the Eight of Swords in reverse. Interesting. That one's kind of funky. King of Cups reversed is your overall. And how are you going to get through this challenge? The Hierophant. Well, I think that you are emotionally wanting the love bad. The Queen of Cups wants to nurture, take care. She wants to hold it. You want somebody else to hold you that same way and embody you and take care of you. Well, the problem, though, is this Eight of Swords reversed is, I don't know, this is like your challenge is you still haven't figured a way to stop pulling. It's like you're clear for this, but it's like you keep trapping yourself and doing things that are pulling you away from that. You keep going to places, doing things, disconnecting from places, and it's not that it's toxic, but it's counterintuitive to what you want. You're living the life counterintuitive to the life that you want for love. And I would say that a lot of that comes with that King of Cups as your overall reversed, meaning that you don't really have control of your emotions right now. You're willing to jump on any kind of situation or train, but it's going against the Queen of Cups, who's sitting in the spot. So if you're going to get love, and especially if you're in a relationship, it's almost like, you've got to be in the position to have love, right? It's like there's a lot of bouncing around in your emotions right now. There's not a lot of control in your emotions. You're emotionally kind of all over the place. And the Hierophant, a 100% commitment to, you want love or not? Yeah, I feel like this is the issue. If you're even in a relationship, are you truly committed to the love life that you want, or do you feel like it's toxic and that you need to pull out? Or why are you constantly making the commitment of making yourself truly unavailable energetically? Eight of Swords, right? And reversed, because you're afraid of, I don't know, it going bad, or it also is that you have escaped to escapism in kind of toxic places, that you're too afraid to connect with the deep spiritual notion of love. You also might be realizing that your spiritual connection, and if you're in romantic situations right now, are not really aligned. And I would say that because you're dealing with people who really, you guys have different souls. And I would say that this is kind of making you not feel in control emotionally. But I think a lot of it has to do with, for a lot of Librans out there, being all over the place emotionally, not embodying the emotion that you want, not staying in a place to embody it, not being committed for that place, but being kind of like lost in this kind of weird toxic place. I don't think that you're blind to it, but that also might be the irony is that you're blind to you not being blind. Like, that might sound crazy, but you think that you're all clear and that you see things clearly. It feels that way, but really I would say that you're not putting the effort forward of really embodying that you want love, and especially that traditional way of having love. Well, it's going to come from you showing up to love. And I think for those that are in in relationship mode, it's like you have a big question on whether or not you're really ready for, especially those that are engaged or those that are married. Like, either A, there's a really weird toxic situation here that you have to deal with before you make the marriage happen, or you are in a marriage that maybe has ended, but maybe you haven't even done the divorce yet, or maybe you're still on the fence on those things. There's some weird situations that you need to get to the truth about it, because now you're fucking with the spiritual cords of all that shit. And then there's those Libras that don't have the spiritual cords and don't want to even attach to any. But then it's toxic because you don't have any cords that you really want to embody and have. You want it so bad, but yet you don't connect to it. And I think that all Libras are feeling that way anyways in a lot of their situations, wherever they're at. You pulled the Chariot reverse. There you are. You're not willing to go towards that embodiment of the emotions that you want. You're going away from it. You're literally going the opposite direction of where you want for love. You're going the opposite direction. You're taking the Chariot and you're going, I'm not going to go where the universe tells me to go for this ultimate, beautiful, happy love and caring and embodying and having even a home situation, a love situation, and just pouring with wetness of cups everywhere all over each other. Nope, you're on the opposite direction. You're literally, maybe even driving the opposite direction from that. I mean, you're literally going the farthest away you can from the love scenarios that you want. And even if you are in a relationship, you feel like that energy of embodiment, or you feel like you're the one who has to always do it, and then you want them to come back and they don't. Or others are trying to do it to you and you're not showing up, or you're not available, you're not there. That's Chariot and Queen of Cups reversed. The King of Cups, I'm most interested on this card. Why is this card coming up as your overall in reversed? Three of Swords reversed. You're trying to avoid heartbreak. So there it is. You're trying to avoid heartbreak in all situations as a Libra. You don't want to go through heartbreak, so you're just not going to deal with situations. You're in avoidance. You are in heavy avoidance. You are going the farthest direction away from love completely possible. You're driving it away. You're avoiding it completely. You're not willing to commit to figure out, even if you have to face the bad shit and get out of a situation, or the good shit. You're like, I don't want to deal with it. They could go bad. And it's like, I'm not even going to be available. It's like, I'm going to push. There's been a couple readings like that tonight. I'm just not going to, it's like Capricorns. Like they were the same thing. Like you're just not showing up. You're not around. You're not available. Look at that. You pulled your own card, Libra. You want relationships. You must embody that in your identity. I think it's hilarious that, you want relationships, but you are not embodying being in one. Also, if you are in a relationship, Libra, you have to look and see if this is something that you really want. And if you're a Libra who's single, do you want to be a Libra? Do you want to be about relationships, or do you want to not be a Libra? Because honestly, that energy of being a Libra is like being completely needing to be looked at and seeing if you're identifying and embodying that at all. It's a pretty serious situation. You pulled the growth. I think that this is where it's at. Like, you're growing, and in order to grow something, you have to be willing to go through the spiral of that. you know, but you can't keep denouncing the growth. I think that you're trying to, it's like it feels overwhelming to go deal with growth out or growth in. And I think that that's part of the issue, that you think you got to be in this beautiful state of balance. You're not in a state of balance, because growing is balance. Like we learn from the balance of life to be able to grow. And I think that you are in a peaceful place, but you keep chasing this kind of like weird space. And I think you're afraid of growth. You're afraid of the story changing. You think it's going to tailspin, but that's the only way that the universe happens. I feel like you're waiting for the universe of love to truly happen, or you're trying to fix a situation, a love situation that isn't growing anymore. And you think by not trying to grow it, it won't grow when you want it to grow. It's like counterintuitive. Like, don't don't water the lawn. Like you're not watering the lawn, but you want the grass to grow of love. Okay, that's gonna work.
But the rain's coming.
Oh no, they don't even know. They already know the rain's not coming. Let's see what your shadow is. Up today for tomorrow. So what you're doing today will be what tomorrow is. So look at yourself right now. Whenever you read that, you might watch this reading, Libra, I don't know, on a random day. Where you're at right now at this moment is where you're at tomorrow. So when it comes to your love life, that's exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's until you make the big change today, then tomorrow shit will happen. That's your issue, is you keep pushing everything from today to tomorrow, but that never happens because it's the same energy. It's when that you make the energy moment of growth and change now. Then tomorrow you'll see the change. You can't just keep pushing. You're just pushing everything off to tomorrow. Tomorrow, next week, next month, 4 weeks from today, tomorrow. While today will just be tomorrow because you're not making the change. So you're in the heaviest avoidance. Avoid. Let me find this. Let me find that. But I really want this. I really want to do this. But no, you're going the opposite direction. Chariot reverse, 3 of Swords reverse. I don't want to experience heartbreak. I have no control of my emotions. You're all fucking over the place. You're all over the place. You have no, I'm just going to be real, Libra. You have zero consistency at this moment. Zero. You're not even connected. You're just like fucking flailing. And I know that might sound hard, but it's like you are too afraid to make a commitment to just sit in an energy to bring in what you want. You're afraid to sit in the energy to change what you want. You're running all over the place. First house, Neptune, Pisces. Wow, you are in complete delusion of your own self and identity. You act like you don't know what you want, but you actually see the visual of the dream that you want, and you're too afraid to go at it, and you are avoiding everybody and everything.
And trying to control, what we see, what we hear, what it is, every aspect that we do. And of course, we have to have some control of our life, but at some point too, we have to let it naturally flow. We have to let the happiness grow within inside of us and within inside these certain situations. And maybe they don't look, super bright from the outside. Maybe it's not the right color, it's not the right feel on that, but that could just be that vibe radiating. That could have been a little funk that was left over, a little residual funkness that was still residing out there on that surface, and you just wipe that shit off. It could be brand new. It could be a brand new you, but you have to allow yourself to transform. You kind of got to let go a minute, and let that energetic flow run through you. Allow it to force that change in your life. That necessary change is just going to spark it. All of a sudden, just going to boom. You got to find that happiness, though, and you got to be willing. You have to be willing, and you have to be able to implement that. Be happy. Be happy. Do happy things.
It's like flailing around, like you're in a car by yourself, wearing a face shield and 2 masks, and being like, oh my God, the CDC is telling us we have to wear 2 masks now, oh my God, and driving around trying to get away from it. And you look like one of those weirdos by yourself in the car. You're going, ah! That was the image I got.
Weirdo in a car by themselves with face covering.
Correct. When it comes to their love life story,
with 4
it's like
face
the
coverings
farthest
on.
opposite of where.
They're like the monkeys of face coverings. One over the mouth, one over the eyes, and one over each ear.
You know, you said such a harsh thing that was so funny in such a way that made it not seem that way. Very well done.
Hey, thanks.
Props. Very well done. I need to learn that skill. Pisces. And I'm looking at the chat and seeing like, oh God, all Libras and
Strange
like,
ass shit.
unfollow, motherfucker.
There's been some strange ass shit going on in the chat room.
Unfollow.
I don't even
Unfollow. Unfollow.
People are very rowdy this morning, talking about some weird shit that YouTube censors automatically, but I can still see.
Well, let's see what's going on with the Pisces for this week. Pisces, if you watch High Vibe, I've said it for the last couple of weeks too. It's huge. Just really pay attention to what you're doing right now and really be careful out there. Be careful. You're going through massive 12th house transits on the high extreme scale, with Neptune just being pounded right now. And we're dealing with Saturn in your 12th squaring Uranus. Whew. And we got Saturn and Venus in your 12th. So I'm worried about some close Pisces of mine. I've been just seeing it. I don't even talk to them. I just have been watching it from afar. And it's kind of, You pulled the Empress. It's good. It's the first card that we got here. Your challenge card is the Queen of Wands reversed. Well, it even fell too. So, your overall here card is the Sun card in reverse too. What do we got here? What do we got for you? How do we get through your challenge? The Page of Pentacles reversed. So this is kind of ironic because I'm looking at this Sun reversed in the Empress. It's one thing to understand what, especially for love, like I think that you are wide open for love. I think that you know how much you have to offer. I think that, you know also where it is that you can find that same energy back to you. But I think the problem with this Queen of Wands reversed is, it's that you're realizing, are you really going towards energy that really is even of love? Like, I almost feel like you might feel dumb, but I think the challenge here is that the physical aspects of things are being looked at instead of the full love things. Because the Empress is very physical. She rules Venus. She rules motherly energy and being able to hold that energy. And seeing the Sun card reversed here overall is like, I feel like you're dealing with partners that don't know how to express their true identity and soul. They're false. They're false people. They're fake people. They're people who are more, they're the person who rents a Lamborghini and says it's theirs, or they're people that, act like they got all this sun energy and they don't. This is also you too, overall. Like, you're not feeling like you're on your game, even though but I thought all the good stuff. And that's the question is, do you really know where you're at? So I think with this Page of Pentacles reversed here, it's about stop taking these offers from people or situations. And I'm going to be honest, the Pentacle is on the back of this one. I got a feeling like you're done dealing with dark offers. There's people who are after you. They consistently come after you, and it's like you feel stupid and you budge. You budge. You gotta stop budging. Like, oh, well, he hit me up 24 times, and I finally just budged.
He really liked me.
Yeah, exactly. This is like you just taking dumb offers, and you know it. You know the Empress, and then you give it away, and you get ravaged. You get it all taken. They just take everything from you, and they pull your soul away from you because they're a fake sun. They're showing up being like, oh yeah, I can handle that. I can take that. And then they don't have any deep connection. They don't know how to bring the heart out of you. They bring the false heart out of you because it's like, again, you budged. You're like, you know what? We don't normally wouldn't do this, or I normally. You got to look at your situation right now, Pisces, and be like, are you sure that you would be in this? Like, are you really sure? When was there those moments when you're like, I would never do this, and now you're doing it? Those are the things where you got to be like, uh-oh. Because this is a lot of false stuff here. And stop taking offers from like the dark. I feel like that's what you have to stop doing.
Darkness.
The Empress, why? You got the Judgment. Okay. You have a higher purpose. That's what the Empress energy is trying to embody here, the Judgment card. You have a purpose that is divine. And anything that doesn't come from that divine energy or that divine source or what your great spiritual work is, that you can't embody a relationship if it's of that. It's like being an angel who's like, I'm going to go fuck around with one of Lucifer's little demonic demons.
Like, hold my wings. I'm going to go blow the devil.
Pretty much. I mean, that's pretty much where we're at right now. And it's also getting lost into dark stuff. Really dark stuff. Dark energies.
Darkness.
And that dark energy could just be like you're at a loss, so you don't know where your mission is, or you're not doing your mission. And so you're attracting partners that don't even have a mission, but they have a mission to do things that aren't of the light. You got this Sun card in reverse, and why did we get that? Wow, you've had card falling too. Sure. It was upright. King of Pentacles. So I think that this is reminding you to not put so much weight and on people who have money or have stuff, but they aren't expressive of their soul. But I think that this is a good card to remind you of that. You know, the most valuable thing to be abundant in is things of showing the expression of soul, showing the light, and also the freedom. I almost feel like you got somebody trying to control you too, because of the fact that King of Pentacles with money. People, guys or women that are trying to use you in a way to what they want, and they're trying to use money, and then they're putting that false front, the Sun reversed. So I feel like you're dealing with people who are like using you, taking from you. Like, and you're giving everything away, and you're giving away your spiritual mission. You're giving away your spiritual mission, and you feel stupid about this because you budged. You keep budging. I'm going to budge again. Let me just give it another shot. Let me just give this person another shot. And it's like, no. They're like, well, I won't pay for that for you. Or I'm not going to take care of that for you. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm not going to do that for you. I won't do that for you. There's so much of that. And then if you're not in anything, and you're just one of those Pisces that are all alone, I think that your issue is that you have deep self-worth issues of expressing who you are. You don't take any offers because you don't feel like you're ready for love, because you don't feel like that you are expressing yourself, that you don't have any self-worth at all. And then I think that you're also don't have a mission because you don't feel like that you can embody it, even though I think deep down you can, but you have to do this kind of work in order to do that. Your overall that you got here is, wow, the South Node of life debts. You're dealing with a past life situation that needs to end. And because it's in Sag, and because for you, this is you, and this whole thing of holding responsibility to things that you don't need to be held responsible for, focusing way too much off career aspects or fame or anything like that, dealing with energies that are too optimistic when really it's like another story that's away from your own story. But I think that you're going through leaving karmic energies, and instead of paying the debt, it's already been paid. So exit out. You don't need to go to collections. It's like you keep going to collections and keep budging, like, oh, I'll do it. And you got lucky. I think that the lucky energy here is that, it's like the good luck, the charm, the horseshoe. There's so much around lucky, especially when it's like you're only going to be lucky here when you leave these karmic situations, leave these situations that are not of the light, leave the energy that is not true, and the luck will show up. I feel like you're lucky to even be able to be aware and to get out of the situations. The luck is to get you out of the situations and to get into situations that are opposite of that. So don't waste this week where you have the luck behind your side, you have spirit behind your side, and the astrology backs that 100%. But you've got
hold the wheel, Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's just like, if you know you had like all the things to get you through, to get out of shitty situations and to get yourself to where you want to go and have the luck, would you fuck that one up and waste it? Or are you going to give that, you're going to give your luck as your debt? Oh, I'm going to give my luck away and give you my spiritual debt that you are creating that I owe you. That's what I feel like. It's like, what's your shadow card here? The child I was meant to be. You're not even stepping into that because I think you're living this false identity of what you feel like you're meant to be. And it's coming through false pretexts, false energy, relationships with false things. And they're expecting you to be a certain way and to look a certain way and to act a certain way and to be a certain way. And that's not who you were meant to be. That's the shadow that's being revealed to you right now. You got Sag, Mars, 4th house. Well, Mars in the 4th does not have fun, but it's in Sag, and I think that this is you emotionally wanting an emotional adventure, but are you just taking any adventure, or are you actually taking the time to realize that you need to aim higher in your life for higher integrity when it comes to the emotional energies, and understanding that people and the people that you go after have to be on the same vision and the same emotional vision, and that there is an understanding. I get it. It's, you have been through a lot of expeditions, but how have your emotions been? And I think that you can get high off emotion, really exciting for the vision and adventure. Does it actually turn into real adventure? Or is it more about the idea that you are ready to take and emotionally get behind, but it doesn't ever turn out that way? These are false stories that I think that you are stepping into, that you're realizing that you need to identify with what the real story is and get to the bottom of it and check your emotions and see if they're positive or if they're malefic.
Those expectations can be draining, you know? And so it's expectations we put in our life too, you know? It's like going and buying like a new pair of running shoes, you know, but then they're just sitting there because you're like, oh no, it's got to be 80 degrees and with a slight breeze, you know, and then it gets there and you're like, oh well, actually it's a little too hot, you know, I don't want to bring them back out. Instead of actually just applying yourself, you know, and actually just putting in the work and going and getting it and making it happen, kind of just sitting back and perpetuating the issue and making these excuses until it just build up to this grand situation of greatness that you're never going to actually be able to achieve because it's all just inflated in your mind. You know?
Very true.
So what is it? You know, it's almost like the economy. Don't be the fucking economy. Okay.
I just got a text that Governor Abbott of Texas just did a big speech, and he went after Californians and New Yorkers, and he made a call out to residents from there.
And said, don't fuck up Texas?
I don't know. I'm assuming it's more like, if you want to feel safe, come here.
But don't fuck up Texas.
But don't fuck up Texas. Well, it's kind of funny. The people who leave California to go there are kind of the ones who are like, this is not how I want California. And they would never do that to a place where they want to go again.
Come to a city near you in
Aquarius,
Texas.
Like if I left California, I wouldn't want to go to Texas and vote to be like how California turned out to be.
It's a piece of shit.
Like,
they are screwing us every fucking day. No lube, no kiss afterwards, no steak dinner, just mush.
Well, I mean, the French Laundry has, you know, what kind of soup is that? Some like French
snot soup,
French mushroom, butternut squash mixed with chicken noodle, and that's all they're offering is lube, but you can't afford it.
No lube, no spit,
no lube, just some soup,
just fucking sand. Some wet sand from the Pacific Ocean, from the fucking LA River.
From the LA River.
We're gonna fucking use
that
the,
all the
we're gonna
homeless
use the
shit
sand from the LA River.
You know, I've said it before.
As lube as we fuck you.
Have you ever done the shit races?
I've only heard the story of the homelesses racing their shits down the fucking river.
They go to the top of the LA River, and then they bend over, and then they take a shit, and then they bet trash items or money, whatever, and the shit that rolls all the way down to the bottom of the river first wins. Yeah, the bet.
Yep.
Those are the races happening in California right now.
#RecallNewsome.
Interesting. All right, Aquarians. Happy birthday, Aquarius. Hope you're having a good birthday with all these planets in your sign. I had an awesome horoscope for you on highvibe.tv. Let's see what you got first. You got the Seven of Swords. Ooh. Uh-oh. You got the Four of Wands in reversed as your challenge. You've got the Six of Cups in reversed as your overall. And you got the Nine of Cups in reverse to get through this Four of Wands. Well, here on this show, Craig and I can confirm the Seven of Swords is definitely not the card that I want to see. You know, it was interesting. The peace dealer had a funny card of the Seven of Swords. He put Biden's face on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was kind of hilarious. You know, this is where I think, you know, I'm going to be honest. We're going to have to get deeper into this card. This card deals with lies, deception, shadiness, all this kind of shit. So whether you're doing that or a partner's doing that, or you're just kind of living in your own lie, like, you know, like you're saying like, no, this can't happen. Because I would look at a positive of this is like saying, no, this can't happen when really it can. Or saying, no, this can happen, but you're lying to yourself and it won't happen. These are situations that are coming up in love. I got a feeling this week, like you're going to have to come up to the truth. Like, and you're going to have to like deal with the bullshit. Like, are you bullshitting yourself or are you dealing with somebody who keeps lying to you? I mean, you're dealing with this challenge of like, I don't think that, you know, especially for married couple or, you know, but this is a celebration and it's the marriage card. It's in challenge and it's in reversed. I would say that, you know, the challenge is realizing that, no, you know, you can have the ultimate celebration in your life and, you know, you can have the ultimate marriage and so forth. But I think that with the Six of Cups in reversed, I think the overall is feeling like, you know, it kind of feels like there's really not a, you can be lost about past memories or you could be expecting things to show up in a certain beautiful space. And I think that that's just not possible. I think it's like, you know, I think that that's maybe the lie, like, you know, or somebody might be promising to be able to do certain things, or maybe the promise of showing up with the ultimate celebration and they're not. It's kind of like a kid having a birthday and everybody promises to come and they don't show up. You know, this Nine of Cups in reversed is definitely letting go of over expectation of how the celebration should look. And maybe I'm going to be honest, because I don't know, we're going to have to pull a clarifying card for that Seven of Swords. I feel like it's almost like expecting too much. The other half, maybe somebody expected a lot out of you and you didn't show up for it. I'm going to call that one out too. We're going to find out right now. What's up with the Seven of Swords reversed? We got the Six of Pentacles. So, you know, this is the shadiness. It's almost like somebody's, and I think the shadiness is having to deal with money. Okay, so it's like that's going to be where to focus on. Exchange. Like, it's almost like, are you living the lie that the relationship is just about money? It's just about exchange. All the things are just problems about money, and the lies and deceit are around money. That's where you're going to have to look at. Okay, that's where you have to focus on. If it's become transactional, the relationship. Remember, I said this is like one of the worst cards in relationships, and then you got the main worst card in relationships. So you got the two worst, and I would say that. But the good news is it's only based upon the lies and deceptions about money and exchange, or if you're trying to go after somebody for their money, or they're trying to be in your life to take your money, or it's all the relationships just about like what we give and take to each other in the physical realm. I think it's also lying to yourself if you feel that you could be in this charity position and do all this charity when you can't, trying to pull off miracles that you can't pull off, somebody else trying to pull off miracles and they can't, and you're over expecting. There's a lot of that happening right now. Your overall is a Seven of Cups reversed with a Six of Cups reversed. I mean, I feel like this is just you really realizing there's so much more out there. There's more to explore out there in certain situations too. Maybe there's been bad memories, but it's almost like you're not willing to, I don't know, still see. But I feel like this is like Aquarians really over a situation. I feel like this is Aquarians really confused, don't know what to do, lost a lot of hope, don't believe that there's anything else out there, so maybe they stay in shitty situations.
I'm so confused.
I think it's like, go do what just makes you happy and don't expect anything. I think that God, we're gonna have to get more. This is a very weird. You get the Chiron. You're in the healing card. Wow. Okay. Fuck, man. Good news is Saturn is in sextile to Chiron this week. I would say that you can heal all your relationship issues this week. From deception situations, transactional, from promises made, promises not kept, bad memories, and healing the feeling that, maybe you're healing an issue that, you don't feel like there's anything great that'll ever happen. And you're so focused on it being one way. Maybe you need to look at the relationship situations as there's different parts of relationships that are prizes. Maybe there's one thing that you're overly looking at and becoming the investigator and not feeling the fair exchange there. This is definitely a wide opening week for you. You got the healer. Oh my God. So
the healer and the feeler.
This is healing something traumatic.
You got to heal yourself. You got to lively up yourself. Don't take no.
This is a healing week, but it also is realizing that the healer is the one with the all-seeing eye and seeing how everything in the universe connects. Remember that Horus is the one that is the eye of Horus, who is Mercury, and Mercury's eye, and it's seeing everything.
It's a whispering eye.
And so you have to be willing to look and see the truth in everything right now, and how all these events and all these things have happened in your love life right now. And what's the shadow that's being uncovered? I won't cry for you.
Booyah. Booyah chaka. Booyah chaka.
You're dealing with the shadow of feeling like you're not loved enough, or nobody's giving you enough emotion, or you're doing the opposite, right? Where you're the one who, I won't cry for you, and somebody feels betrayed and you got to heal it. But that's on you. It's your birthday, so I'll pull you one more clarity card under this shadow. The Ace of Pentacles reversed. You got to let go of this so you can move on to better waters of this whole betrayal, especially when we get the Seven of Swords. This is you healing all past memories and all past issues with relationships in general, and especially whatever relationship you're processing on in this reading, or that you're processing in your life right now, or that you were the one of betrayal. 10 house Aquarius Neptune. The responsibility is to clear the illusions of things are connected when they're really disconnected. I think that this is you having to take a risk again, but not be naive about it, but take a risk to connect, and a risk to also disconnect from things that don't feel like they're in alignment with soul. So if you got to get over there's a lot of transparency here, but there's also a lot of in order for you to really connect, you're going to have to get rid of the kind of sensitive issues and be more tough and be more responsible and take action upon, not a sensitive place, but letting go of that sensitive and letting go and moving to the future and moving on to the future. And instead of being so deeply connected to this past stuff.
Sometimes the past is just a shitty situation that you got to move on from, because self first is not selfish. Say
No,
it. Self
no,
first
it's not.
is not selfish. No, you have to
no,
do
no,
what's
no,
right
it's
by
not.
you, and you got to be able to pull yourself out of the past trauma, the past bullshit, and step back into the happiness. Okay?
Happy.
Happy. Go to your happy time. Happy. He goes out into that forest, and sometimes it can turn dark. Okay, it can. Then you got Shooter McGavin making out with your grandma, grabbing up on your woman or your man, whatever it is that you like.
Or
Bottom
you
line
end up
is,
in arts and crafts for 8 hours and making...
Yeah, my back.
It's
My
300
hand
a quilt.
hurt.
I'll have more out now.
Yes. Only you can prevent forest fires.
But what if your
Only
hand
you can
hurts?
get yourself out of the funk.
Does your hand hurt?
Well, now your back's gonna hurt because you
Now
just
your
pulled
back-
landscaping duty.
You just pulled landscaping
Yeah.
duty.
Yeah, you should have broken out of that shit.
And you got to wear 5 masks to get a shot.
Mister. You gotta get, and it's not gonna be the good shot. It's not gonna be a shot to the heart. It's gonna be a shot in the fucking arm right there. Don't say shit.
Shooter McGavin making out with your grandma.
At the fucking forest, grabbing up on
We're on
girl's
the
ass.
last 2.
Be.
From what I see, it's
Shooter.
Cancer Leo, right?
Oh, who's gonna be it? Who's gonna get it?
Looks like Leo edged Cancer is not being the last one. Cancer will be the last one. All right. Leos.
Listen, Leo. Listen, Leo, listen. Hey, Leo, listen.
Hey, listen.
Hey, listen, Leo.
Hey, listen.
Listen to what I have to say.
We're doing the golden tariff with Leos.
Listen to what I have to say.
All right, Leo, what's going on? 10 of Wands as the first card. Challenge card is the 9 of Wands. The overall is the Page of Wands in reversed. And Death card reversed is how you get through this 9 of Wands challenge. Well, it's time to drop all the weight for the things that you don't want to do. 10 of Wands, like too much weight, later. So any energy right now, relationship-wise, it just feels like it's just a lot of energy and a lot of work and a lot of strain and a lot of groceries to carry up to the long 2-mile road. Like, it shouldn't feel like that with love. It shouldn't feel like a long hike. It shouldn't feel like this whole long thing. You gotta let go of that weight and be free. So this is definitely you realizing which relationship or which person. I feel like somebody's just, they're bringing either they're bringing their too much weight to you, or Leo too, and yourself too. You're holding on to too much weight right now in a situation, and it's like, I mean, how much can you handle? Because it shouldn't feel that way. If it bunches up that quick, it's like, come on. Especially this challenge with the 9 of Wands, the defense. Like, the challenge is now that it's like, okay, now you want to protect yourself. But guess what? The overall with the Page of Wands reversed, it almost feels like there's nobody or no situation presenting themselves. Like, nobody's saying anything nice, or nobody's showing up with the flirts or the things that you want, or they do and they don't show up. That's the worst. I actually got a feeling of that. I got a feeling it's like, oh, like, hey, you look hot, or hey, it could be your partner. Like, I want to do this, and then they don't do it. It's like, so be careful. You're going to get either your partner is going to be like, hey, like, you're ready to just drop any weight, which is just, honestly, just for Leos, weight is just like not getting what you want. Like, it's just like, this is just too much of not what I want. But it's almost like then people like, oh, yeah, and then don't follow through. Page of Wands reverse, like, goes, oh, here, you get an invitation to come here, and then you go, and then it's like, oh, it never got through, or, oh, I got another situation I'm doing, and
Hey, you're on the guest list. It's only $50.
pretty much flight. Death card reversed, though. You can't be afraid of things going bad and having your defenses up. I mean, I think that you got to remain open, but I got a feeling that you also can't continue. This is crazy. You cannot just keep the doors open to things that are already closed. Like, I feel like that's part of the issue, especially if it's an ex trying to call back or something like that, that's treating you like that you were too much weight, or it feels like too much weight. We're going to get deeper into this. What came up with that 10 of Wands? Well, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, or that's 10 of Pentacles in reverse. And you know what? This weight is unnecessary because it's not building the castle that you want. It's like, wait, if we're going to have weight, we better be building something good. Like if you're going to show up with 1,000 pounds of concrete, we better do something with it. But it almost feels like it's showing up with 1,000 pounds of just bullshit air and not being able to go anywhere. And I think that anything that's not building anything and not wanting to create and not wanting to grow and doesn't have the ability, because people can say they want to grow things, but then they really don't, and they don't have the means and they don't want to do it, or they don't know how to, then that's an issue. And I would say that, what is coming up with this Page of Wands reverse? Oh, the 9 of Wands again. That's what I said. Be careful of what people are saying. Keep your defenses up. Some people might be trying to say things that really are just trying to, it's the inviter that's trying to invite whatever, say whatever to get you to come into a weighted situation that isn't going to go anywhere. Maybe you want to keep your defenses up, and maybe that's why the Death reversed is there, like as the advice. Don't just put down your defenses here. I think that you got to keep not just defense, but just keep a boundary up and not taking on any dead weight. Whoever really is real isn't going to ask or throw a bunch of weight on you, and can actually show up and build and create things, and also is not going to be defensive themselves, and also have a very deep self-conscious or self-worth issue. I always look at this 9 of Wands in this deck because she looks in the mirror and she doesn't like what she sees. And anybody who doesn't like what they see from you and are trying to come at you that way, and maybe that's been happening and maybe that's continuing to happen, you don't need to give energy away. This is about you not giving your energy away and holding this energy. It's about letting it go. You got the grand trine of blessings. So it's like the only place to go is where all the blessings are. It's going to feel like, hallelujah. Not fucking like, oh, I'm the soul, and then hopefully, and I don't know, and the fucking emotional, spiritual messes out of your life. Don't even take them in. You can't build shit when somebody's an emotional wreck. They're going to be fucking putting, blocks on the kingdom like, no. It should be, let's make the kingdom, and let's get the tapestries up. Fuck yeah, and let me take you on the throne, and I'm going to show you how to do it fucking sideways.
Curbside smoke shows coming with some pulled pork sliders.
Ooh.
For the festivities.
But I feel like this is dealing with emotional wrecks and saving yourself from them, and then the false identity of happiness when it's like underneath they're showing something different. It's like, oh, that apple's coming from the evil queen and don't take it. You know what? Nature spirits, follow your gut and your guides. There's blessings that are telling you where to go. And it feels like there's a natural soul spirit to follow that's a blessing. It just feels natural. It just easily works. And it doesn't try and fucking throw shade, or it doesn't try and like build but not build. It doesn't try and, I don't know, tell you things and not be able to deliver and then throw this inner shade. Ugh. I think for you, though, Leo, overall, it's like, yeah, you don't need to be promising that you can do a bunch of weight and you can't deliver either. Like, don't go do that, because then that causes that back. So that's your lesson, too. The final card here, the shadow card.
Come on down, Shadow.
Is the artificial heart. I think that, especially that there's all these blessings in the natural spirit, I think this artificial heart is like, you know what's false in your heart and you know what's false in the other. Don't follow that. Anybody that feels like they're coming, I feel like there is, and I'm just going to be honest, this might sound a little like alien or creepy. I feel like there is a dark AI robot emotionally that is coming your way with this artificial heart, Page of Wands reverse. It's acting like they have it, but they don't. And really, this is who they are, and you need to keep defense. There's somebody who is trying to play a weird emotional game with you, and they are after you, but they really don't have the real heart. And you have the blessing of the nature spirits to protect you, but also that means you have the blessing of the real heart that's going to show up, and you'll know what that looks like. What does that look like? I'll pull a card for that. What does that look like? The Lovers. Holy fuck. So How do you know it's the lovers, though?
I was say, weren't expecting that one, were we?
But Two of Pentacles. That's the juggling card. I would say they'd be juggling the same issues as you. They would also be, I think, already knowing what world they want to be in. I feel like this is also, and this is going to go really esoteric in spirit, we are seeing the splitting of the earth right now. And I feel like that they understand that whole thing, and they are on the same page. And that, you know, they're in a better position to make choices which world they want to go in. They're not like waiting on somebody to make that choice for them. That's what it is. They already have control of their life. They're not in influx of creating a life. I don't know, am I going to do this? What am I going to be? Where am I going to go? They don't even have they don't have options. The artificial heart doesn't have options in their life of what to be or what to do. Wow. Gemini, Venus, 10th house. Well, definitely it's going to be a stimulating week with Venus and Gemini, looking for the twin-like energy. And with the 10th house, though, responsibility and also destiny. So it's going to feel very destined this week of finding that kind of twin-like vibe, but also at the same time that takes a lot of responsibility, and it makes sure that it's like decision-making and people who are adult-like and still child-like at the same time. Not just all mean and adult-like, or all too crazy and childlike and don't have any responsibility.
And don't let the falsities of these projections stick to you, because they're actually not you. They are merely a projection, smoke and mirrors of what an individual may want you to be or who you may want yourself to be. But is it actually ideal to be that mirrored perception that the individual is placing out there into the universe? The aspect, the faded views? No, you got to be able to wipe that clean and know who yourself is. You got to be able to know that truth. You got to be able to be that light, that shining, that guiding star, that aspect that's going to burn the fuck out of anybody that gets in your way. That's the only way. That is the only way to move past these momentous moments in your life. You got to be able to hurdle it. You got to be able to go underneath the bar. It's about the adaptation of life and not getting stuck into one limiting point of view or one limiting thought, but being able to transcend the moments when they arise.
I feel like what you said is
Transcendence.
the real moments will arise, and I feel like it's like not about wasting time with anything that's really not feeling real.
Correct. That is correct.
Well, and the last one is Cancer.
Oh, the crab people. Oh, little Krabby Patties.
Oh, those crabby wabbies. Being a crabby wabby. Let's see.
Bam.
Let's see, Cancer, the last sign of the zodiac for tonight on this week's astrology. Let's see what's going on. We got the zombie deck here pretty full, so let's see what's going on. 8th house. So you got to go zombie. You guys are all in the 8th house right now. If you don't know what the 8th house is, it's the Scorpio world. It's the dark world. It's the shadow world. It's the sex world. It's a lot of these things. Your first card is a Chariot. You got the King of Pentacles as your challenge. Your overall is the 2 of Swords. And how do you get through this King of Pentacles challenge? The Ace of Wands reversed. Well, this is saying it's time to move on in life. The Chariot is about moving in a whole new direction and moving out of what you've already figured out. I mean, if you notice in this check, it's like, get me out of zombie land. I am bailing out in the car like a typical zombie movie, and I got the guns going, and I'm out of here. And it's divinely guided by the universe. You got to move on in life and move in the relationship. It's got to move to a new direction. It's got to move into a completely new direction. You did pull the King of Pentacles as your challenge. So I would say that your challenge is not feeling valued, not feeling like you know what to manifest in your love life, or feeling like, you feel like you don't know how to create what you want to create. And then your overall is the Two of Swords. You're blindfolded and you don't know which direction to take and you're lost. So here you are trying to move in a new direction, but you're completely lost. You don't know what to create. And the way that you do that is, I think that you're trying to go create this ultimate new happy story. But it's like, I think at the same time, it's like you don't even know what that happy story looks like. So maybe drop the whole idea that it's like there's some fresh start of this new direction. But just being like, I'm moving directions to try and figure out now how to play this game better and create what I want, and not be so on the fence of, I don't know where I'm going. Why'd you pull that Chariot card? You pulled the Sun reversed. It's because, this deals with, either A, somebody's just not showing up with the sun of the energy they are, but it's reversed too with you as the clarifying as why you're moving forward. I just feel like, you're trying to find happiness, but, are you driving away with, maybe it's within yourself, not knowing how to express your true self, express your true sun? But you also don't need to deal with that, whether it's in yourself or somebody else. I mean, it's time to move towards where you're going. I just hope you're not moving towards going towards a false sense of sun. So sometimes we can try and move on in places and then go to the most false sense of self with the Sun card reversed with that Chariot. So I hope you're not driving away into a false sense of place. You did pull for your Two of Swords here, the Knight of Swords. It's time for you to realize, like, you got to take more swifter action on things. You need to be much more in it. The Knight of Swords dives in. It's not afraid. And this is about learning to have edge. I think that your issue is that you're too afraid. And I get it. You're a Cancer. You're sensitive. But you're not going to be able to manifest the real love story you want. You're always going to be on the fence. You're not going to be able to express yourself fully. And you're not even going to have a successful Chariot ride if you don't have edge. The Chariot has edge. The Chariot is willing to move. The Chariot is willing to listen to the universe. The Knight of Swords here with this Two of Swords is definitely saying that your issue with not knowing which way to go is because you don't drop in. You don't drop in when it's necessary fast.
Drop the hammer.
The Knight of Swords is fast. It knows how to fix things. It rushes to save the day. It is somebody who is a hero that figures it out, that is sharp, that is edgy, and it's passionate, and it drives in fast. And there's an energy about you that I think that your energy of not moving fast, you got the Sun reversed, you got the Two of Swords, you got the King of Pentacles as your challenge. That's your challenge, is that you are just sitting a lot. But you want to move on, but you sit on things for too long, and you need to cut it away and move on and get those things done with and express yourself and go fast and stop hanging on the fence on things and processing things too much. And that's why you reflect partners that do it back to you, because then if you're that way, well, then how do you think they're going to be? Most people move into relationships. They move, they go, okay, we see it, we got it, bam. But I also got a feeling that you also are, if you're in a relationship, Cancer, I feel like, there is some sort of desperation to fucking move on to something different, because I feel like it's gotten really stagnant. I feel like it's gotten really boring. The Sun card reversed, it's not expressing. They're not able to do much. And I think that, the other part too is you're confused and you need to act on a direction. You need to say, I'm either staying or I'm going. You can't keep playing on the fence about this shit. You're playing on the fence. You pulled Saturn return. Well, number one, look at where your Saturn is. What's that return? Are you playing that out? How are you playing that out? So, and also, either you're being too old energetically, or there's an age difference that's too big, Cancer. Or at the same time, maybe you feel like, this is like this place of wisdom, but this doesn't feel like love. It feels like kind of like, Kronos learning his lesson. These are tough choices that you have to make this week. Really intense ones. You'll get relief from them, though. Oh, man, there's nothing more like, making a big choice and seeing the relief after. And so you can't sit on the fence about it. You got to take that rapid action towards what choices you're going to make. And your shadow that you pulled up, fated to suffer.
Fated to suffer.
I think that this is something that you're having to let go of. that you feel like you're always fated to suffer. And I feel like that's due to the fact that you always sit on the fence and that you don't know how to have the edge that you need. And I'll pull one card. Why do you keep feeling that? Judgment. You feel like that God was just fated to have you suffer constantly. That's not true. It means that you're not on your mission. So you're suffering so much because you're not on your mission and you're picking partners that don't have the same mission. But I think that if you're not on a mission, well, then if you have a partner that's on the mission, then, then they're trying to pick you up and bring you on, but then you can't, and that's fated to suffer. If you're on your mission, you're with a partner who's not on the mission of the light and doing the higher work for God, then guess what? Then that's not going to work. So that's the issue. I think that this all is kind of boiling down to, like, are you going to really embody your destiny and embody who you really are and be able to be in a relationship that actually can do that? Are you ready to bring your edge out? That's what all this 8th house transit's about, is your edge. 8th house edge, Cancer, Saturn. You're learning how to emotionally be edgy and intense and passionate and let it all out. But that's hard for Cancer. It's like restricting the emotion and staying private instead of being open and expressive and being transparent and being edgy. And you can't fake that.
You can't fake the funk.
No.
You just got to be the authentic Cancerian, crawling out of the underground cave into the light, into the sea. That salt, that fresh salt water and that fresh sun on your little crab face is going to show it all. It's going to shine out into the world, but you got to allow yourself to feel.
Mm-hmm.
You got to feel again. You're not fated to suffer. You're fated to thrive. You're fated to succeed. Once you know that, once you're willing to actually move forward, not sideways, not side to side, move forward. It's a natural progression. Don't be afraid of it. Love it willingly into your life. Always Cancerian. And that goes with everybody, I believe. We can't be limiting ourselves in this life. We can't be limiting ourselves in love. We must do what makes us happy. We must do what feels right for us in this moment, in every moment. As long as we're doing right by ourselves and we're doing right by the people around us, we're not fucking them over. Continue to do you, always. And people, if they're not on board with you, leave them on shore or to drown in the water. One of the two. But don't bring them with you.
I agree with parts of that. And then some parts I'm like, sometimes being ourselves can be the worst thing if it's the wrong energy, right? So it's a complicated one.
Well, if it's the wrong energy, is it really your true authentic self?
Well, when you're dealing with 8th house, right? It's like, well, I'm going to continue suppressing my edge. That's who I really am. When it's like, no, you're suppressing the fact that you're afraid to let out your edge.
Exactly. You're not living your truth. You're not living that authentic being that is trying to radiate
Correct.
from your loins.
Yeah, it's
From
trying
your-
to pop out.
From your bluish hue.
The light hitting it on a Sunday.
Let them watch.
And it's real hot and sweaty. Well, I'm going to just throw one Ganesha card for all of us through this week.
Ganesha, what do you
Call
have in store
Ganesha.
for us tonight?
uh,
Tell us, Ganesha, please.
Call Ganesha to save the collective. I
You
haven't
can
shuffled
call on Tyrone.
but I don't have to shuffle it much because it's been shuffled so much and I never use his deck. But just to kind of put the energy of Ganesha, call Ganesha.
Ganesha,
Ganesha,
what do you have for
call
us today?
Ganesha.
Ganesha.
Nurture.
Woo!
Nurture yourself. Find people that want to nurture you. And it should feel like nurture. It should feel like, fuck yeah, nurture.
Fuck yeah, nurture.
You should feel like, yeah, I'm gonna nurture that.
Lord, fuck yeah,
Nurture. What a weird word. Hey, yeah, you want to be nurtured? Hey,
I'm gonna nurture
send
the
me my new
shit out
pickup
of you.
line. Hey,
You're gonna
hey.
get so fucking nurtured.
I don't know if you want to be nurtured or not, but I'm your man.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking nurture you.
Hey, I know you look real hot and you're beautiful and you're gorgeous, but like, do you want to be nurtured?
Yeah, let's go nurture each other.
I was wondering. I've been thinking about it. I think I'd like to nurture you.
Go nurture.
Nurture's best.
Yeah, nurture under a tree.
Nurture's best.
Nurture in the shade.
So, well, thanks for being a part of High Vibe. Make sure that you're on our app and, of course, on our website, highvibe.tv, for all the episodes that we do and all the shows. We're doing, on average, 70 videos a week on highvibe.tv. You're missing out. Of course, in this new world with YouTube, I'm working on coming out with what we're going to be doing, but there's still going to be astrology and there's still going to be giving you the info. It just, of course, is going to be curtailed because of the fact that we are in a new YouTube universe. So, but if you want the unfiltered, true, full form of everything, it is on highvibe.tv, and our app works just like YouTube, and we have the same things where you can listen to a video and be in your apps and even put the video up in your phone and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
go nurture someone.
you know, people have been talking about new platforms. We've been doing this. I started my first platform like this in 2014, and it has not stopped. So
Can't stop.
when it comes to the spirituality and people trying to find new platforms and build ones, like, this is the place that's been doing it in a studio and been doing it a long time. So if you really want to make that jump, we got awesome discounts on my paid videos and so forth, but even just really cheap rates, even on our new website, it shows you the breakdown. I mean, we have plans that are literally 25 cents a day, like, you know, so
Come to High Vibe, let us nurture you.
with 7 days, that's what? That's 7 quarters. That's $1.75 a week.
It's cheaper than that shitty ass Starbucks you've been drinking.
Literally. So
Let us nurture
I
you.
appreciate it. We appreciate it. I'm glad to have Craig back. Glad to be with you all tonight.
It's good to be back.
And enjoy dropping those truth bombs and
Join us for
nurture you.
Deep Astrology on Wednesday,
me.
live on High Vibe. Nurture you. Goodbye.
Hare Ganesha!
Hare Ganesha, goodbye.